Good morning, good afternoon, good morning, good afternoon. I don't like how this robe makes me look like thousands of pounds.
You heard the pediatrician is that he fell off the treadmill, and this is precisely where the defendant slips up.
I just woke up, y'all. Just woke up, and this is some important shit.
That morning, on the 2nd, he inflicted blunt trauma injuries, and he hit him. We know what his motivations are. We know what his intent was.
This is the state, you guys. Oh, we're on Verdict Watch right now. We're on Verdict Watch. God, I hope this motherfucker is nailed to the T. Okay? The mom is in the gallery. The mom is in the gallery. Which I'm really excited. I'm really glad that the mom is there for this.
Going after Brianna.
You guys, nobody's talking about this. Nobody has talked about this but me. Okay? But me. I've not seen that one. Let me scratch that. No. Nobody. Absolutely fucking nobody has done this trial. I mean, I started a little bit of it, but there's only so much I can take. Me not having kids, I can't have kids. It's very, very hard for me to sit through a whole thing like that. But it just irks the piss out of me how nobody on YouTube did even tried to cover this. Nobody wants to cover Noah's case. There's so many out here. And thank God that this did go to court. Finally.
She's erratic and there's no rationale behind it. But then he says, well,
this is the mom. This is the case of the treadmill. This is the mom, Brianna. She's in the courtroom today. Well, this is Court TV's premiere. This is the state's already rested. This is the state's closing arguments. I don't like the defense closing arguments. I can't stand the defense team. Can't stand them. Hi, Grandma Sherry. Hi, sweetheart. Good morning, good afternoon. Don't mind me. I just woke up. I just took my medicine. Ugh. So I'm trying to get the taste out as quick as I can. Coffee and chocolate is the only thing that really works. I put that on there. Yes. This is the state has rested against Christopher Gregory. He is the one that put his son onto a treadmill. He flew off that treadmill 6 times. All 6 times you've seen the father pick him up. Let's listen. I mean, I can present it on here if you guys want me to. Or this is the mom.
His abuse. He then begins to attack her family. And then he's talking about coaching. Coached. Know what happened to Corey. This is what he's calling insane.
That's the God, he's a murderer. He caused that little boy to die.
Corey never disclosed, and I said this before, that he was hit. He said he fell from the treadmill. Mm-hmm. The defendant is the only person who ever uses the word hit.
Hit.
That's because he hit. The call to the hotline is evidence of murder, not pneumonia and sepsis. Corey wasn't sick.
No, he wasn't.
There's no report of Corey acting loopy when he got home. There's no report of pneumonia 6 hours before going to the hospital and 7 hours before death. There's a confirmation
now, mind you,
that there is no...
Why this motherfucker leaves, excuse my language, this mother trucker leaves when his son is dying, okay? Did not once make a phone call to the mom. He was too busy threatening her. Never once did he say, "Hey, Corey's in the hospital and could possibly die." No, that asshole deserves to be in prison for the rest of his life. They talked about giving him a lesser charge than murder. I can back it up here in just a few minutes. Here, look, let's do this. Let's do this because I want you guys to hear this part. So,
actual cause for this death. He didn't inflict it upon himself. It's blunt force trauma. It's a strike, a hit. That's what blunt force trauma is. He also talks about the pattern distribution and varying ages of bruises indicative of child mistreatment.
Hi, Mr. Nobody.
And Corey had contusions.
Grandma Sherry, you don't know this one, Grandma Sherry? Oh my goodness, Grandma Sherry. That's because nobody knows about him.
And this is where we get
nobody
back to
knows.
This bruising again. It's not the kid has a bruise, so all of a sudden, it's child abuse.
Yep.
That's not what anyone is saying. It is the pattern of bruising. It is the amount.
Grandma Sherry, have you seen the treadmill? Because I can show you that if that'll bring you any.
Andrew is talking about.
I really like this state. The state did a really good job presenting this.
Contusions on the skin, right? So that would be contusions underneath your skin. And he was able to see this in the slides and with the autopsy photos. The bruise near Corey's shoulder blade is not typical from a child running and playing. The bruise on Corey's chest was in a very odd place, unless there was a good explanation for it, right?
I gotta get to the mall today, you guys. I gotta get to the mall somehow.
Corey's cause
oh my gosh, nothing about this case you know about. Oh my god. Okay, so first thing, I definitely gotta get to the mall today. I gotta figure out how I'm gonna get there. June 3rd is coming up really quick too. It sucks. On my ring that my stepmother got me is doing what it did before. And I'm pretty sure the checkup was in April. And it's got a crack right in. Can you guys see that? I'm not sure why my rings do this. But I gotta get to the mall. I gotta get to Kay's somehow. It just devastates me. I don't understand why. And I've had other rings do this to me where they bust right there. And my stepmom is no longer on this earth. June 3rd will be her 3 years that she's been gone. I don't know if you guys know that my dad's not in a very good predicament and I can't get to my father. I know a lot of people's been asking, so that's why I paused that for a minute so I can explain. My half-sisters are not on. My one half-sister is too scared to stand up to her other sister. That's her sister. That's only my half-sister. I don't claim them as my sisters due to the fact they've been out of my dad's life and my life and my brother's life for 15 years. When my stepmom died, they said, "Oh, Dad, we can give you this, this, and that. Come live with us, blah, blah, blah." And ever since then, he's been from one home to another. Thanks, baby. Been one home to another. And then I'll keep it in the box till I pull it out. Been one spot to another. They've lost their place because my sister's son has had shit. Where's my mouse at? Here we go. Has drug issues. I do wear my stepmom right here as well. My necklace is broke with my stepmom, but you guys can call me the spirit person because I have a lot of people that I wear around me all the time, and it just sucks because she got me this before she died at Christmas time, and so I just really cherish this ring. And I think I might have missed the 6 months checkup, but we're gonna try to make it out there, I promise. But I have looked into hold on. I don't want to ugly cry. I have looked into I filled out some forms for an abuse on my father. They want some evidence somehow. How am I going to prove that they're abusing him? They made him lose his car. He's lost his house once already. He's said he's fallen. And the last time I was there and I hugged him, he said, "Please be careful hugging me because I'm hurting. I'm sore." And I said, it didn't dawn on me until I'm like, "Dad, what do you mean you're sore? You're hurting. How are your ribs hurting still? That fall that you had was a year ago. You shouldn't be hurting. Your ribs should be healed." And he hasn't fallen since then, since his neck surgery. Thank you all. Sorry I got off track here, but I just wanted to stress this about, what I'm going through. And if anybody has, suggestions. Yeah, I think it's still open. I think the mall is still open. They don't close till like 10, but it's just a drive out there. I hate driving over the bridge. I don't like bridges. I'm very terrified of bridges. So if I don't have to drive across that big, huge Toledo bridge with all the lights, I'm perfectly good. I hate all the bridges up here. There's the Blue Bridge. You got the big Anthony Wayne Bridge. You got the big bridge that people died from making, and then you got Greg's Bridge. Greg's Bridge is really old. I don't mind that bridge too much, but I don't know how to get to the mall from the Greg's to the Greg's. Yeah, it's just I hate bridges, and that new bridge scares the piss out of me. But back to this case. Okay. I have to go. I am feeling sick today. Oh no, Grandma Sherry. Hope I didn't make you sick because of my story, because it makes me sick sometimes. Okay, so let me wipe my face here. Oh, and I just wish my stepmom was here. I wish my stepmom was still here, because none of this would be happening right now. And my stepsister and my niece, Alexis, used to take care of my dad really, really well. But then my stepsister wasn't helping out her daughter with any of the bills. My stepsister is on pain pills. My half sister, they're on some harder stuff, and they're hanging out with an enemy of mine. My dad didn't know that was her. I'm hoping to God he'll never let her in his house again, because I told him, I said, if you let that girl back in your house again, you won't have your daughter anymore. I was like, do you know what that woman did to me, Dad? Do you not remember seeing me the way that I was? Do you not remember none of that? Like, how could you forget that? I was so mad. I told my half sister, I said, how could you guys sit there and get high with this lady? Like, go get clean. Quit putting that shit in my dad's home. Quit making him smell that shit. Like, no. Like, no. You're not doing that to my dad. My dad was perfectly fine living with Alexis and Amy. Yeah, Alexis had a hard time doing it, but she damn did it, though. I mean, and she has a kid of her own who was only like 2 at the time, maybe 5 or 6. But it's just, and then, so I went on the website and I looked at the adult protective services, which I'd have to do that in my dad's hometown. I can't do it from where I'm at. I think I have to be on the Port Clinton's website. I have made numerous calls to the police department and told them that there are some druggies around the area and asked if they could keep a watch. My next phone call is to do the welfare check, but I'm up here again. I'm in Toledo. My dad's in Port Clinton. And so I'm hoping that'll work, but we'll go from there. I have my niece looking for some evidence. I know they've gotten phone calls from my dad where they've heard Betty Jo and Austin abusing my dad. But give me 1 second. Let me pull this up for you guys, just so you guys can see what we're watching. Okay, I'm going to present screen. Let me know if you guys can see this with my camera off, okay? Are you guys going to be able to see it with my camera off? Probably not. Let's see. I hate being on camera sometimes. Okay, so what we have here is, now they are on verdict watch, but the mom is in the gallery. Which I'm really shocked to see. I don't think I could handle that. Where is, maybe this isn't the right one. Okay, hold on. State's closing argument. Come on. There we go. Okay, so this, just so you don't, since you don't know, grab.
All right, it's today.
Great Wolf Lodge. That is a fun place to go, you guys. Great Wolf Lodge is really
Nothing
fun.
brings the pack together like a trip to Great Wolf Lodge.
You got to be careful when you go to these places because the bed bugs.
I grew up always on
Great
the
Wolf
bigger
Lodge
side
has
as
a
kid.
secret
I was
key
always
that most hotels
slightly thicker.
Is they have a heat treat system in their basement in the hotel. And Great Wolf Lodge, I worked there for a little while.
Dr. Ragasa performed the autopsy on April 3rd of 2021.
Okay, nobody's talking about this case. I've not seen that one YouTuber
was undetermined.
talk about this. This is the suspect. This is Gregory, you guys.
Causes.
He's the one that put his child on a treadmill.
Of Dr. Andrew.
I cannot stand his lawyer. Oh my God, you guys. This lawyer drives me nuts.
It's not to say that
so animated.
Dr. Ragasa's autopsy, right? What he did in the autopsy is the issue, but is the interpretation of his findings. Dr. Andrew is a former pediatrician, and he's also a forensic pathologist, right?
I want to show you
and the
guys
defendant
the
is
again.
Now placed under arrest on March 9th of 2022. Then
now because
Dr.
she's
Ragasa
had drug problems,
amends his report
they tried to pin
in
it
August
her
of 2022.
But she dropped Corey
This
off
case
with
was
the
also
father,
reviewed by Dr. Falzone,
and then that's
who is the chief medical examiner for New Jersey prior to this being amended.
Nobody talked about this.
And yes, ladies and gentlemen,
I talked about it a little bit, but
the prosecutor's office contacted the doctor.
This broke my heart, you guys.
Who has passed away, and Dr. Ragasa, in the report, which was testified to, talks about a laceration to this child's heart. And yes, he wanted to see what happened to the 6-year-old.
6-year-old.
Dr. Andrew talks about Corey's lungs.
Oh no.
There's a large left lung contusion, and this is not pneumonia. So there was some testimony about this the other day that there was noted in the autopsy report that there was just congestion in the lungs. Dr. Andrews tells you that this is a lung contusion. It's a lung bruise. He also talks about post-mortem CT scans and how they are not
I'm in my role, so I'm
reliable.
not professional.
Here,
today, okay?
this was read by a clinical radiologist at the hospital, and he tells you that it takes special training to interpret the results of post-mortem CTs because they don't look the same in dead people as they do in living people. It's not that radiologists can interpret CT
Oh look!
scans.
Oh my God!
It's
The
a
grandpa
post-mortem
testifies.
scan.
That was 2 weeks ago. I didn't even see that.
Dr. Andrew talks about Corey's heart and the injury.
You know,
He tells us that he had a visible contusion on the outside of the heart. The internal
So he won't
examination of
testify.
Corey's
Gregory
heart
is not
shows
testifying.
a
By the way, either. He
laceration
didn't
or
testify.
tear in the tissue near the apex of the heart on the inside wall of the heart, right? So
You're
what
on
does that
Verdict
mean?
Watch right
This
now.
injury was located
This is her
in the
closing-
inside
her
of Corey's
closing
heart,
statement.
right? It has to get cut open the heart to even find this injury. It's inside. And he talks about this being a tear of partial thickness, right? So what did he say during his testimony? This tear or this laceration, it didn't pierce all the way through the heart. That's why he's saying that Corey did not die immediately, right? Because it's not a hole. And he also tells us that the laceration and tear, it's not a matter of size, it's a matter of where that is located and what it's doing, right? There's one on the left ventricle
Sierra,
and lower
Jesus,
left
girl,
chamber
he is
of the
never going
heart,
to do.
right?
I dare you do.
And
old
Corey's
school
heart
piano.
could compensate for several
He ain't
hours
never gonna do
because
old
it didn't
school
pierce all the way through. And he also told us that Corey did not bleed out from these injuries. And this wasn't an instant death. And he tells us that this is trauma. And what happens is your heart
God, I
tries
hope he
to
gets charged with a
compensate.
full murder.
And then ultimately your heart
She did say something
decompensates.
about,
And then what happens is you go into
homicide.
cardiac arrest.
if I'm not mistaken,
And that's why
she
Corey
did
went into
say he
cardiac
could
arrest.
go for homicide, if
He
not
also
murder.
talks about stress
But she suggested to
cardiomyopathy.
do murder.
in
I'm not
Corey's
sure
heart.
if we're a little bit past
And
that.
ladies and gentlemen, what he's saying is that there was this marker that Corey is suffering ongoing.
God, I can't
stress.
stand that guy.
Look what's happened to him.
Nobody's even
Dr.
talking about the
Andrew
J-Dale,
also talks about
you know.
Corey's liver. And there's 2 injuries which are located on the liver, right? There's a laceration or tear in the liver tissue on the right edge, the right lateral aspect of the liver.
I cannot
Right, and he
believe that.
talks
Hi,
about
y'all.
the photos clearly show
Hi.
that there's also a
Hi,
contusion
Undercover.
that
Hi,
goes fairly
Daisy.
deeply into the
Hi,
liver
Mary
tissue itself.
Jane.
And under the microscope,
Center.
this was
Mary
not
Jane.
a super
Grandma
fresh
Sherry.
injury. So this is not an
Jones
injury
in. I
that
got
could
some
be
famous people
attributed
in
to
here today.
CPR. Why? It's not
Oh
a
my
fresh
God,
injury.
I feel so
And he describes this as
honored to
being
have some
an
good
ugly
folks in
injury,
here.
but this was not life-threatening.
I'm
This is
very,
not
very
what
honored for all
killed
of you guys
Corey.
just being here.
And he
But
talks
just
about
I'm not
there
seeing
was
not
a
one
contusion
person besides
where
me
bleeding underneath the
about this
capsule of
case.
the liver on the front edge of the liver. So what he's talking about
So
are
this
2
little boy
separate
had so
injuries,
many
okay?
contusions
But
on
Corey's
his body.
liver is lacerated on his lateral
Since Grandma
side.
Sherry didn't
The
see
lateral
this.
side of the liver.
Grandma Sherry, if you're
This
still here, you
is
can always
not
go back and
caused
watch
by
it.
CPR. It's the lateral side of his liver. That's where the laceration is. Dr. Andrew also talks about Corey's scalp. And he says that when looked at the skin underneath the skin, there was a contusion on the top of his head and a couple of contusions on the backside of the scalp that you couldn't see on the surface. And this is what I was referring to
that.
before regarding the bite on Corey's head. The injuries in Corey's condition provide the timeline from when the
I had to buy
defendant
myself a
inflicted
T-shirt.
blunt force
I'm gonna
trauma injury on his son.
jump in and
Dr.
live
Andrew
that
is able to
in
determine
time.
that these blunt
That'd
force
be fun.
trauma
Whatever you're about to do.
injuries were inflicted on Corey between 9
I
a.m.
know, Mary Jane.
and
I can't
1.
stand his.
And what he
Ooh.
does is he reviews slides, which are tissue samples, right? Which they take from the autopsy.
The things he said to the ex-girlfriend, like wouldn't let him.
Inflammatory cells, which are
She had no idea her son was
located in Corey's
in the hospital, and he
This
died
inflammatory
without to
process
see his
involves
mommy.
the appearance
What the
of
fuck
certain
is wrong with
hair
this guy?
cells to the area of injury, which results
Put him
in
on a
statistical
treadmill. Let
time
that
frame.
little boy fall
So
off.
This is this
6 times.
inflammatory process, and
6,
it's
you
a well
guys. 6
established.
times.
So the
He fell off
laceration
that little
to Corey's
treadmill.
heart and liver occurred roughly at the same time, and that's what he says.
Ooh, that coffee's still hot.
The injuries that Dr. Andrew notes are more indicative that Corey is struck or hit multiple times than that these injuries were somehow caused by CPR. Dr. Andrew tells us that given the age of these injuries is entirely incompatible with them been produced by CPR, because they wouldn't have had this inflammatory response that takes hours to develop.
The
right?
mom is back.
And he also talks about
She
CPR
must have stepped
on the
out.
right side
She
of
was
the
right
chest.
in the front
CPR
row.
is done on the front
Maybe
of the
she's next
chest.
to
And
the-
like I
to
said,
this guy.
the anterior liver
Because she was
injuries
there today.
are
She
not
was there.
uncommonly seen with CPR, but not an injury on the side of the liver that goes deep into the tissue. So that's what he's talking about.
Christopher
This
Greger
injury,
will
which is
not
a deep
testify on the
deep
treadmill.
tissue liver injury,
Good thing he
it
didn't.
just simply can't be caused by CPR unless you're doing liver CPR to bring back breathing. In the context of discussing the CPR injury, the doctor tells us that he has never seen a heart or internal laceration of the heart like this in regard to CPR related injuries, right? So again, it is the fact that this laceration is found deep inside of the heart. And he talks about this inflammation process as well. So the location of the heart and liver injuries are more indicative of the defendant striking Corey more than once, right? And this is something that you have to use your common sense about, right? They're happening at the same time. It's likely more than one thing. Because how is it possible to have an injury to your heart and to your liver on the backside? Certainly not possible to occur with CPR that happens in the middle of your chest. Corey did not have an infection, and we know this from Dr. Feingold. She is a practicing doctor specializing in pediatric infectious disease. She is board certified in her specialty. She actively works in a hospital, a trauma center, and teaches medical students. And she has all the technology.
There's the mom, you guys.
available
Right there
to
she
her.
is. I was trying
And
to
she
find her on
reviewed
here.
numerous pages of discovery, and she tells us that she didn't see anything that suggested infection. And when asked if her opinion was to a
Let's
degree
imagine,
of
because this
medical
mom
certainty,
really did
she
try.
responded,
She tried.
absolutely.
She took her baby to the hospital.
Corey did not have any signs of infection leading up to his death.
Bruises.
IV pediatrics, there was
she
no
tried
evidence
the
of any kind of
custody
infectious
thing.
process.
She
Community
was
medical center, he had
automatically
no
shot
signs
down.
of infection. Jersey Shore, he had a normal white count, no respiratory viral infection, and he had no evidence of having an infection per the doctor. He ate breakfast, was speaking without coughing. There was no wheezing or shortness of breath, walking and climbing stairs. At Soch, when he arrived, he was not in respiratory distress. There was no retraction.
Just so you guys
there was no wheezing.
don't forget.
No crackles.
This is the treadmill one.
There was nothing observed to suggest a lung infection. Any shortness of breath was because
he was less than 1.5 hours from his death. So this is what
I don't know if I
the
can pause
doctor is
this.
talking about, not his breathing being off because of some type of infection, but Corey's body was shutting down. He was going to die. The elevation in white cell count, right? The blood work that was taken at Jersey Shore, there is an elevation in the
I'm
white
gonna have
blood
to,
cells. She's saying this isn't due to an infection. This is because this is what's happening because he's already suffered blunt force trauma injury. His body is shutting down. Of course, your white blood cells are going to be elevated at that point. And she talks about this as a cell count consistent with a giant surge. And she also talks about the other level, which is a stress
That girl looks
response,
familiar.
not an infectious response, but a stress response. And this is also consistent with the elevated glucose levels that were determined in this blood work because his body was shutting down due to the blunt force injury and due to this inflammatory reaction that Dr. Andrew was able to find under the microscope, right? And this is how you know that the injuries are not caused by CPR, right? Because if they were caused by CPR, then that would have been after death. So why would there be any inflammatory process?
I don't know about that. I don't even get into that part, but I've seen too much on YouTube. So this is the treadmill.
Again, factors that do not support infection. There's no bacteria in Corey's bloodstream, which
I guess I can show you guys that next.
this factor is not even mentioned by Dr. Bodden in his report.
So
the scan
right now,
of the lungs is
this
a
is over. Right now,
CT
this has already
scan,
been
right?
aired
And
and
Dr.
over.
Feingold
So right
and Dr.
now we're
Andrews
on vertical
corroborate
watch.
each other with
It
their
comes
testimony.
back to be.
Postmortem
I'm hoping it's
CT
going to be
scans
murder,
were not used in the
but
diagnosis
they're saying
of
maybe
pneumonia
homicide.
because the
I don't
lungs are
know.
no longer holding
This
air.
makes me so mad. It's so
So
awful.
it's not that the use of the CT scan is wrong, right? But if you're going to use the CT scan, your lungs have to get filled back up with air for that to be reliable. And that's what Dr. Feingold was talking about. Why? Because you stop breathing when you pass. And the lungs would have to be inflated or insulated for this to be readable and reliable, right? So Dr. Bodden's testimony about, the infectious disease doctor, and she didn't know the availability or whatever it was, that's not the issue. If you're going to use the scan, you have to inflate the lungs back up so the scan is actually reliable. This postmortem lung swab, this is also something that is relied upon for this idea of sepsis. Okay.
30th.
In this lung swab, what was grown, the staph, is one of the most common bacteria around. And this is from the infectious disease doctor who treats children with this all the time. And this is not a reliable way to diagnose
the love story about
infection
Camellia is
in the
gorgeous
living
too.
because there is a high risk of frequent contamination. And that could even be for intubation, right? And we know that Corey was intubated, right? And we also know that Corey was at the hospital and everyone was touching him. There was nurses, there was a doctor. His body is transported by a funeral home. The autopsy is done the next day.
I don't know the treadmill one either. Oh my God, there's two people that never heard this.
We know this about kids. They sneeze, they cough, they have this stuff everywhere. And this is why her testimony is important. And what she tells us is the normal clinical course of this pneumonia occurs over the course of days.
People, this guy
doesn't just
was mad at the ex-girlfriend
within hours
in
and an
recovery.
Fever,
she struggled with
and
addiction.
There's gross abnormalities, which be noted.
The court documents wanted them to
X-ray,
take the child to a specialist.
He
kept denying it.
Abnormal pulmonary
she finally took him on the days that she had him.
Right? And Dr. Bodden said that in his report, there's no indication that there was pus or an abscess on Corey's lungs.
6 years old, you
Ms. Lento,
guys. 6
What is-
years
Yeah, we've
old.
gone about an hour and 10 minutes, ladies
Okay.
and gentlemen. So before Ms. Lento transitions to Dr. Bodden, why don't you take a short break, stretch everyone's legs, give the court reporters a break, and then we'll come back out.
All right.
They made her pause so they could go for a break. What the? Okay, so really quick. Let's see this. Alright, I'm gonna stop sharing this for a minute. Hold on. I don't see the mom in there right now. All right, yeah, hold on. I'm gonna pull up the treadmill. Hold on. Let me go. Corey. I'm looking for it, guys. Hold on a second. Give me 1 second, guys. 1 second. Okay. All right, I'm back. Hi. Okay, let's go do this. Let's do this. You're not gonna. Oh shit! I'm not gonna be happy with this because I want you guys to see it. Can you guys see that? Okay, I want to be able to see you guys' comment. My name is where? Your name has your name on the screen has a heart. Okay? Your name on the screen has a heart. Should be two. I don't know what you're talking about. The only R is in my name is in Alexandria. Guilty, guilty, guilty all the way. I know he is guilty, guilty, guilty all the way. Well, it does. Where are you guys seeing this at? Because the only R that's in my name is in Alexandria. That's my full name. Jacqueline Alexandria Whiting. So I used to just go by Jacqueline Whiting because nobody knows my middle name. I'll have to change it. Oh my god. It's in the corner of the picture. I don't know. I'm not seeing it. See? R-T-H-S-E-E. Oh, it's right there. It's supposed to be a K, not an R. It's supposed to be a K. Truth Seeker. What the hell? See, I must have been doing it when I was in a hurry. Because I didn't even do my disclaimer or nothing, girls. I just put it straight on. And that was it. Now this is where it gets. The mom is sobbing on the stand right now. This is older. The mom had to sit up here and watch this. Broke my heart. Like, they made her sit here the whole time. And as you see, he's picking him up. Kid falls off. He picks him back up 6 times. Now, there's a couple times he flies off of that. So just trigger warning. Only disclaimers in the videos, your descriptions. Ah, see, I'm still learning that. Still learning. I usually put a disclaimer in my description box, but I had just came on super quick. I know it's for baby, but I've not seen nobody talk about this besides me. Maybe Headstones. Headstones, she's my girl. She usually covers some things that I cover. Kind of help me get out there a little bit. I think she tries to do it like that for me. So I appreciate Miss Headstones. If you're in the bushes, girl, you might be at school. But if you're in the bushes, I appreciate you. So, this guy just irks me. And now we're on vertical watch, so I'm hoping. I'm mad that he's not going to take the stand. He's not going to take the stand. But did any of you guys watch this? I mean, he doesn't show not one single remorse. Nothing. He shows nothing. Nothing. He shows no remorse, no. This was 4 weeks, so this was at the beginning.
Donna Michelo.
I want some of you guys to hear this.
Make the court reporter swear you.
You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this proceeding will be the truth?
Yes.
Would you have a seat, please? State your full name for the record and spell both of your names.
It's Brianna Michelo, BREANNA
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lento.
Brianna, just before we start, I just want to remind you that you're going to have to keep your voice up, okay? The jury's going to have to hear you. So, Brianna, how old are you?
I'm 27,
And what is your birth date?
November 7th, 1996.
And where do you live?
East
Oh,
Brunswick.
he makes me so sick.
And whom do you live with?
My boyfriend and daughter.
Shout out to Court TV
And do you
for
work?
bringing us
Yes.
this.
And what
They
is
were
your
on a delay,
occupation?
30-minute delay, but this is just the beginning of
Who is
it.
Corey Michelo?
My son.
And when did you give birth to Corey?
May 1st, 2014.
I don't
And
have
how
that.
old were you when you gave birth to Corey?
I have it saved in my Gmail or my
17.
email.
And
The
what grade were
clipboard
you
doesn't
in
work
when you
on a
gave birth to
laptop. I have
Corey?
not figured out
11th grade.
how to get.
And who is Corey's
Clipboard.
biological father?
The defendant.
Man, take this microphone and just slide it right in front of you, okay?
He does not want to give him his name. He's not even want to say this guy's name.
Let me turn it over to you. I want you to,
She's
I want you
just
to
like, I
pretend
don't
like
wanna
you're
say
basically
this.
speaking all the way to the end of the jury box, all right? All the jurors need to hear you and see you. If they can't hear you down there, it's like you're not testifying, okay? So I know it may be difficult, but please try and keep your voice up.
She is.
So who is Corey's biological father?
The defendant,
And what's his name?
Christopher Gregor,
And how old were you when you first met Christopher Gregor?
16.
And do you know what the defendant's birth date is?
It's May 1992.
Now, you're familiar with Christopher Gregor, correct?
Yes,
And you've known him for many years, right?
yes.
And you see him located in the courtroom
The
today?
next
I do.
case is,
And
I
can
want
you
to go
please
back
point
over
to him and
is
tell us,
Noah.
where he's seated
Nobody's
and what
talking
he's
about
wearing?
Noah.
He's sitting
I
over there
have
wearing a
talked
suit.
about Noah.
Identifying Mr. Gregory, Your Honor.
Nobody else
So noted,
has.
thank you.
Now,
So,
is your son Corey no longer with us?
No. Well, yes.
And can you tell the jury the day he passed?
April 2nd, 2021.
And how old was Corey when he
this is
passed?
hard, you
He
guys.
was 6.
And what types of things did your son Corey like to do as a 6-year-old?
He likes reading, coloring, painting, playing outside.
And what type of demeanor did Corey have as a 6-year-old?
He was happy, silly, loving.
Oh.
Permission to approach the witness, Your Honor?
Yes, certainly.
Okay, I'm now showing you what's been marked S1
So sad.
for
This
identification
girl
purposes.
had
And do you
to get up
recognize
there
that?
and just
Yes,
Okay,
face
and is
him
that
the
a
whole
picture?
time.
yes.
And can you tell the jurors what that's a picture of?
Oh, that's a picture of Corey.
And did you take that picture?
Yes,
So you're familiar with your
Yes.
son Corey, who's depicted in the picture?
yes.
Your Honor, permission to publish S1.
Any objection? None. Are you ready to get the evidence first? or-
We can move it into evidence, yes. Move into evidence and
Here's my
publish.
disclaimer.
No
Now
objections to
see,
the evidence?
my clipboard,
S1
my clipboard will pop up on my phone. See how on a clipboard? This is what I'm talking about. See? The clipboard, okay? How in the hell do you get a clipboard on a laptop though? I don't understand that. Like, see, it just saves
Now,
all
Brianna,
of my
can you tell the
things,
jurors
like,
who's depicted in that picture?
my pet
My son,
saved,
Corey.
And how
my
old was he in that
coffee,
picture?
TikTok.
6.
It's my
And
TikTok. If you guys
who
want
took
to
that
log on
picture?
there.
I did.
I don't really
And
use
can you,
TikTok, but
Tell the jurors what you were
I need
doing.
some
when you took
followers
that
so I
picture
can
of
go
Corey.
live over there.
We were at the park playing in the
Maybe I'll
snow.
keep TikTok for drama. And this one for all my cases and stuff we cover. But there is
Now, Brianna, how old was Corey when the defendant entered his life?
He was 5.
And was there a paternity test?
Yes,
And how old
No,
was Corey
mind
when
you,
it was
this father
determined
was
that the
missing 4
defendant was
years
his
out of his
biological
life.
father?
around 4.
He didn't come into
And
it
calling your
till
attention to October 28th
when he
of
came in.
2020, where
This
you
dude
and the
was missing
defendant
out of his
granted
kid's
joint
life for 4
custody of Corey.
years.
Yes,
4 years he was missing.
And when that happened, who became the resident parent of Corey?
Christopher.
And when I say resident parent, can you tell us what that means?
He resided with him.
Sorry.
And did you have visitation?
Yes,
And was this ordered by the family court in Middlesex? Permission to approach the witness counsel?
Yes, of course.
The order? Yeah, sure.
This poor lady. Why? Why are you wasting fireworks? Why? And it's just a fucking broad daylight out here. Park your car in the garage, you dumb fucks. Get out of the street. Sorry, y'all. I put fireworks, and I'm like, what the fuck? It's broad daylight outside. Why are they shooting off fireworks? That's what I want to know.
Thank you. Your Honor, permission to approach?
Yes, please.
Thank you. Brianna, I'm now going to show you what's been marked S2 for identification purposes. And
Hi,
can you tell the jury what that is?
Hey,
It's a
girl.
court order.
Okay, and where is it a court order from? Is it from the
Family
Sorry,
court.
just checking
Okay, and
fireworks.
on top of this order, is there a date present on S2 where it says filed?
Yes, it's October 28th, 2020.
Okay, and can you tell the jurors what the judge's name is on this order?
Judge Silva.
Okay. And going down into this order where it says
I just
it
feel
is
so
on this
bad for this
28th
mother.
day of October, 2020, ordered as follows. Can you please read for the jurors what it says in number 1?
Yes. It says the party shall attend court-sponsored mediation on the issues of parenting time and defendant Christopher
do
Greger's
want
name change application. Said mediation will take place at a date and time to be set by the court's mediator.
Okay, and continuing on, can you please read?
The party shall share joint legal custody of the minor child, Corey, date of birth, May 1st, 2014, pendente like basis. Defendant Christopher Greger shall continue to be the parent of primary residence, and defendant Brianna shall have unsupervised parenting time as follows.
Could you please
I was
continue?
just checking.
Alternating
Yes,
weekends
still-
beginning November 6, 2020, from Friday at 5:30 until Sunday
Yes,
at 6
still-
p.m. Brianna shall pick up and drop off Corey at Christopher's home.
Okay, can you continue on, Brianna?
Wednesday evenings from 4:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Brianna shall pick up and drop off Corey at Christopher's home. No one except Brianna and Rebecca shall be present in the home during Brianna's parenting time. And whoever has the child during a scheduled extracurricular activity shall transport him to the activity, however the other parent may attend.
Okay, and then going to number 3, does it talk about the parties unblocking each other from the other cell phone?
Yes.
And then going to number 4,
This
does it
person
talk
put
about
in a
the
comment.
parties
Hold
shall
up.
engage in co-parenting
How do I pause
counseling?
this?
Yes.
Barred from making disparaging remarks, correct?
Correct.
And then it go on to give a
Hold on. All right, so I'm on verdict watch, right? Okay, this person on here just really pissed me the F off. So it says his screen name is Hype Maine, MAINE. He says at somebody, these people over here emotionally clearly hate men because they choose the wrong ones growing up. That man was a father. The little boy was tough. What the actual fuck? Come on, people. Do better. I mean, see, look at these comments. Check the bathrooms. Why? So let's hope the jury comes back with it being guilty. Hi, Shannon. Mr. Nobody, I just subbed. Oh yeah, I've been subbed to Mr. Nobody. I like his clips, his video short clips, just like Sinner. Sinner doesn't do, because it's America and it's freedom of speech. I know it is, but it just irks me. Like, why will people say such cruel, hurtful things? I'll just never understand people, I guess. All right, so let's go back here. Hold on. Boom. Let's go back and listen. I'm just skipping a little forward. We should go. Do we want to hear what the grandpa said? Because the grandpa speaks his the grandpa testifies, but this is the mom testifying. This is the mom testifying.
I want to buy your house. I can pay you cash for your house, no matter what condition it's in.
You know, Michael, so far she's really describing a typical one parent has custody, the other has visitation. A little unusual. She stayed there overnight when she had visits with Corey, but nothing standing out so far to me.
No, I mean, the only thing that stands out is the fact that I guess he was a newer father at that time, right? Because he wasn't in the child's life earlier on. And there's an adjustment period for a young person, especially a young man, when suddenly they find out that this is a situation. I actually had a friend who was in that situation, and it was a very difficult transition for him. So you can understand that things like that might set things off balance.
And you can understand then why maybe she spent the night and the father had some time to go, Christopher did, go live his life while she was safely with the child.
Sure.
Kind of sounds like that. All right, I understand the sidebar's over. Let's go back in.
S5 for identification purposes, and do you recognize those?
I do.
And can you tell the jurors what those are?
There are text messages between me and the defendant.
And you're familiar with those text messages?
Yes.
And are those text messages that were located in your cell phone?
Yes.
Okay, now during the course of this investigation, did you provide your cellular phone to the Ocean County Prosecutor's Office?
Yes.
And when did you provide your cell phone to the Ocean County Prosecutor's Office?
The day Corey passed.
And you provided your cell phone to Detective Mitchell?
Correct.
And by doing this, you voluntarily agreed that the prosecutor's office would search your phone?
Yes.
So calling your attention now to S5 in particular.
So we're gonna watch this from here. Hold on, yo. We're just gonna listen to this for a little bit.
And what was your response?
I said, okay.
Then
Okay,
what did he say next?
He said,
crap trolls. Yeah, I get it.
What did the defendant say next?
he said this Friday, however
True
long
that.
late you are, is how long after 4:30 you can come.
Can you continue, please?
I'm so glad to see
What
all
did he
that.
say next?
FYI,
Oh my God,
this
my
is beyond
ex put
pissing
a
me off now. My
girlfriend
entire plans for
wanted-
today are ruined.
What did you respond?
I'm driving as fast as I can. There's traffic. I'm sorry. And he said, I don't
People
care.
know-
Whenever you get here, we will take the difference in time
But I
from
was
2
very
o'clock until then. And that is how long we will
Yeah.
add on to 4:30 for
That's
when
true.
you come on Friday now.
Oh my God, my ex put.
And then, can you tell us?
Yes. He said, I'm at the clubhouse gym. Just drop him off here.
Facebook.
I said, okay.
Yes.
And then again, I said, he can't get in.
It sucks.
And then I said, I apologize for being so late. And I mean, I'm not saying this because I want you to change your mind about Friday. I
Well,
will
my
come at
single ladies
6:45, no
out there.
problem. It's understandable, but I did want to tell you that there was no
Yo,
ill intentions there. I didn't mean to be so late.
Was it on his
So
phone?
the text message that you're referring to regarding the clubhouse
It
gym,
is.
can you tell for the jurors what time that text
I know,
message
ew, how
is
tacky would
from
that be to
regarding
do
Corey
that?
not being able
His
to
exes
get
can
in?
be so
At
despiteful.
4:14 p.m.
Thank you, Brandon.
Sick.
So Brianna, on March 20th of
Okay, so-
2021, at approximately 4:15, did you drop off Corey to his father
She
at
did.
the clubhouse gym at the Atlantic Heights apartment complex?
Yes.
And had you ever been inside the gym located at the
Yeah,
clubhouse
I
gym.
wonder what kind of
I
one
have.
will answer his
And
case.
can you just
Oh my
briefly
God,
describe what
that's
the
so funny.
clubhouse
He
gym
could have
looks
wanted. Oh my
like?
God. He's probably
There's
gonna have
weights
desperate ones.
and
Exactly.
treadmills.
And where did you park when you dropped Corey off that day?
By the entrance of the clubhouse.
And did Corey have issues getting inside of the gym?
Yes.
And can you please explain what happened
I found him. I found
regarding
what I wanted to
Corey
go
being
over
able to
also
enter
as
the
well.
clubhouse gym on March 20th of
Because
2021?
The door was locked. So I texted the defendant that he couldn't get in.
And then what happened after that?
He came and unlocked the door.
And what was the defendant's demeanor when he let Corey into the gym and then at that point in time?
He was very angry.
And at any point during this, did he come to your car?
And if
Yes.
you guys want to watch the closing statement
After
on
you
there,
dropped Corey
I
off
think
on March 20th, 2021,
the
when is the
defense
next
gave
time that you saw
their
Corey?
closing, and then the
I believe it was
state closed
Tuesday.
first, and then it was the defense.
Would that have been March 23rd?
I don't
Yes.
care for the
2021?
defense lawyer. Nope.
And on that particular day, did you drive to Barnegat?
Yes.
And did you drive there to visit Corey?
Yes.
And where did you visit with Corey that day?
The defendant's home.
And about what time do you think did you arrive at the defendant's apartment to visit with Corey?
I don't scroll on Facebook because I don't want to see my ex.
Maybe 4:30.
And it's the
And that would have
years.
been
Yeah,
your
it's hard.
weekday
It's hard.
visitation with Corey?
Yes.
That's what
So it
I'm
would
like. I
have
don't
been
want
like
to
after
start all
school
over.
day?
I don't want to,
Oh, yes. I'm
that would
sorry.
be too hard.
And where was the
I don't wanna
defendant
start
when
all
you
over.
visited Corey?
He was home.
And did you stay over the
But-
apartment that night?
No.
I can't.
All right, she's describing the defendant as angry when she dropped Corey off. She was late. She admits that he was very angry. It starts to paint the picture, I think the prosecution wants, that he's an abuser.
Yeah, and oftentimes we see this when a parent is mad at another parent, they take it out on the child.
Yep.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to hit the
All right,
pause button.
so there's so much more to that case, but I'm glad that it's over. It's now we just gotta wait to see. You guys want me to play the closings, the rest of the state closing? Because I can finish playing that. Let's do that before we move on, okay? Because I know Jones was in here earlier, but I was watching them last night on Deets, okay? So let me find it here because I lost it. That's opening. Let's see what this is. We won't be here too long, but I do want you guys to see this. Okay. So,
for a long time, as have you. And it amazes me how affected
I want you
when
guys
I
to
see
hear this.
someone like this and I see video like this. And Mark Geragos, all I can think of is that I am not unique. I cannot imagine what those jurors are thinking right now.
That's what I'm thinking.
Well, I think one of the reasons, I've often told you, Ashley, it's a.
We're gonna
my
go over
father used
another
to say
thing
it's a
too in
rare
just a minute,
case
but I
that
want
gets
you guys
better
to
for
kind
the
of hear.
defense after the prosecution rests, which is a long-winded way of saying you rarely want to put your client on the stand. This, however, may be a case where you would want to show the humanity here because it's any way you cut it. You take a look at that video and look at it in retrospect, which is what jurors do, and it just looks heartless. And I grew up in a time when coaches would be heartless, or they would run you till you threw up, or they would, kind of abuse you, so to speak. And corporal punishment was still a thing when I was a youth. But
They close at 8.
in today's day and age, this is just, like I said, heartbreaking. And to some degree, you might want to, if you're a juror, even though you're going to get an
17-minute
instruction that
drive.
says you can make no judgment, you can't even consider the fact that he doesn't testify. This may be the exception to that general rule.
I don't understand how many miles is that.
Yeah, I kept thinking,
17-minute
good
drive.
idea, fella, because they're going to want to tear you limb from limb on the stand, and you certainly
I
can't fix
visited
this. But I
there
don't think you're right. I think it
6
couldn't
weeks
get
ago.
any worse than it already is. And then you add the dirtbag comment. There he is in a speeding violation, telling a police
close at
officer
8
that the
now
mother of
because
this
they've
little
had a
child
shooting
who
in
tried
the mall
over 100
just
times to
recently.
save that
So-
child from that man, that she's a special kind of dirtbag.
Well-
You can't unhear that stuff, Mark. You just can't.
I think I'm just gonna go for it and
I agree. I have not
just to see how many
followed
miles.
closely enough
17
to
minutes
know
away.
whether
So how
this
many
was
miles
a theme
is that
or
away?
how did
I
the
need to know how
defense
many miles is
preempt this?
that?
Is
How do you
there
freaking
third
fucking
party
tell?
evidence? And when I say third party evidence, something other than coming through his mouth that would have said that she had done something to deserve
gotta get
being
to the
called
mom.
this at the time. Because once again, in retrospect, it's a very heavy thing to look at and to ask a
I'm just
juror
low
to
on
look
gas.
at and
I
not
just don't know
want
if
to
I have
lash
enough
out.
gas in
And
the
when a juror lash
know-
out, remember, jury trials are nothing more than the jurors wanting to do right and do justice.
Look how fun
Yeah.
that looks.
The judge decided that the jury
It
would
looks like
not
it's so
be
much
allowed.
fun.
You and I have seen that video. The rest of the world gets to see that video. And I dare say, not every juror follows the judge's instructions and doesn't watch TV and doesn't see their social feed and doesn't see a newspaper headline as they walk by the box on the street. But,
17-minute drive.
God help that man if a juror does see that video where he's calling the mother of that dead child a dirtbag.
Yeah, that
Do you
guy
think
said
it was
some
right
awful
for the
things to
judge
the woman.
to keep that video out,
Awful things.
considering it's
Maybe
so
10
proximate
miles,
to the
maybe
death, and it's all part of this
17
sort of
minutes.
this Rangers jumping in the car, driving 20 hours, turning around, driving back.
There and back.
Do you
I
think it
should
was
be
right
able
for
to
the
make
judge
it there
to keep
and
the jurors from
back.
seeing that?
I just don't know. So if you guys
Right, the judge does a
see me post them on the side of the road, run out of gas,
Is it more
guys know.
prejudicial than probative?
because I have to go
Meaning,
to Franklin Park.
Is
Mall.
this going to prove something?
Hopefully,
one of the elements for the
I'm pretty
prosecution.
sure this was supposed to be turned in
And I think
April.
it's just so
So they
highly
might not even
prejudicial
do anything
that the
for it
judge
now.
probably figured, look, they've got
Hoping
the
they will.
prosecution's got enough. I mean, at
see.
worst,
So
they
before we go
manslaughter,
on,
that why
look how
risk
cute this little
reversible
boy.
error
Look
by
how
admitting it? So
happy
I
and
understand
loved
it. I
he
don't
was.
second
This
guess
little
it.
boy was very loved by his mom.
Little Corey Michelot's face is pictures of him just flashing, and he's just such a cute little boy. Got a goalie set. I got a son who's a goalie. I want to talk to you about Dr. Michael Baden. You and I have done a lot of cases. Dr. Baden has a very, very, very long career as a forensic pathologist. He was a long time. Today, I have to say, I don't know what the hell he was talking about, because he got on the stand and said, oh, it's possible he died in children syndrome, sudden unexplained death in children syndrome. Come on, Mark Garagos, would you as a defense attorney have put that bullshit on the stand?
Ooh, she said bullshit. Oh
Well,
my
Dr.
God.
Baden, in my opinion, is probably, well, now,
Hold
Cyril
up.
Wecht just passed away, and I would have said next to Cyril,
She said
Dr.
bullshit.
Baden was one of the 2 or 3 best. Werner is probably the third.
I've never
and,
heard
Dr.
Ashley
Posey, probably
Banfield
the 4
cuss
best
before.
pathologists around of our
Never in my
generation.
life
So,
have I heard.
you got Dr. Baden up there. He has historically been on the
cuss
cutting
like
edge.
that.
So I don't know that
That
I
was
wouldn't have put him up
insane.
there,
Okay,
because
so I am gonna
part of
post
what
it,
you have
even
to
though I don't
remember
like to
here,
post
Ashley,
it.
is you have to, if you're
Just
the
because
defense,
right now
you've got
I
to
am
zealously
in need,
represent your client.
and
If
I
you
do need
can
to get
get
out to the
past
mall,
the judge
that really means everything
and
to
put
me.
on expert testimony
And not
that
having my
passes
stepmom here
what
with
is
me,
called the
that's the
gatekeeper
only thing
function
that
for the
really
judge,
keeps me
you've got to do it. And
going.
you may looking at
You
this
know
and
what?
saying, what the heck are we
Living
talking
for
about?
her?
But that's the judge's
Yeah.
job.
So I
I
am
gotta
gonna
say that
post
you know what? There's
my
a
cash
tipping
app just in
point.
case if
I've always
anybody
liked Dr.
does
Baden.
want
It's not his fault. He
to
came up
send
with a
me
theory. He's a
anything.
paid guy. He came in to be a paid
To make
expert.
sure I
But
get
I
there and
think
get
there's a
back.
tipping point where you piss off jurors
Oh
who've
my
seen that
gosh, she
video,
just said the
who've seen
piss
the video
word.
of the dad abusing that child just days before he died. And then to hear an expert say
Stanfield
sudden
is cussing
unexplained
like
death in
crazy.
children, I think it almost does more harm than good. But that's just me. It's just a personal thing. Maybe some jurors will buy it. How about we meet again when we get a verdict from this jury? What do you want to lay some
I
odds
hope
tonight?
they get them.
Yeah, why don't we do that? You can book me right now, and you don't have to pay your booker.
Yeah, okay. And you know what? I bet we're going to have a short conversation and it's going to be like, yeah, that was a quick deliberation. Thank you for watching.
What do you guys
Go to
think?
newsnationnnow.com
Since
to
I've
find
kind of
NewsNation.
gave you guys a little bit of a now that you guys have a little bit of information about Corey. Corey was a 6-year-old little boy who loved to play outside. He loved painting. He loved drawing and coloring. He loved being a kid with his mom. And the mom kept seeing these bruises. Now, mind you, Corey played flag football. He didn't play hardcore football. So his mom was concerned of these bruises because he plays flag football. And I'm guessing in flag football there's no touching, there's no contact, right? So the mom, seeing all these bruises, she, thought something was going on, and she did the right thing. She took her son to the hospital, which then told her he needed to be taken to a different hospital, which she did, but she just didn't do it how they wanted. They wanted an ambulance to come pick up Corey from one hospital and take him to another hospital. The mom was already receiving hateful, disgusting messages from Gregory. So then Gregory kept texting her, telling her, you're in for a rude awakening. We heard it kind of in the defense team in the state had said it. My messages to BHB. I got BHB mad. But she's disgusting. Okay, so let's go. I want to go show you guys Noah. So last night when I was on Deets for Streets, Deets has the motherfucking Deets. Deets on the streets. Deets on the streets with the motherfucking Deets. Anywho, I love her. She's so cute. She cracks me up, but last night she had me almost crying because she got on there, she got on her face and everything, and she came straight forward and said about some of the stuff that she was saying hit me. It touched me. It touched my heart. You can obviously tell how passionate some of these people are out here. Deets, Jonesin, Headstones, Forgotten Whispers. She's another good one. But they don't do true crime. Headstones and Headlines, she does do some true crime. Jonesin does. Deets for Streets, I know she covers certain stuff. But last night I was watching her and they kept asking about they never saw nobody talk about Noah. Well, I have, and I know there's somebody else that has talked about Noah. Now, Noah is a... Check back my notes here. Hold on. I'm trying to find... So if anybody does not know, Noah was missing for a while. We love Wispy. I love Wispy. A lot of BS and piss. Oh, I know. You would have said a lot worse. Holy crap, she's on a roll. Have you guys ever heard Banfield ever talk like that? No. I've never. Can we do a poll? Here. Mr. Nobody, are you in here still? You're pretty good at YouTube. You know this kind of stuff. Can you do a poll? I don't see how you could do one in here. How? How do you do a poll? That I don't understand how you could do a poll. But I heard her say that nobody's been talking about missing Noah. Now, Noah is 19 years old. But what Dietz had said last night just hit me, and she's an amazing, amazing person. But she felt so passionate when she was going off on PJ had came in there. And PJ had said some type of shit. Well, what if they were missing their child and they got the same shit that these family is getting now? They wouldn't like it either. And we would still back for them as well. That's what Deet's message was. How would you feel about if you had a kid missing and you came out with the parents' soap? Like, that was the last straw, and then where's the baby? Those are the two things that you just, it's not funny. It's not cute. It's just not cute. It's not even something that you should even joke about or even make a thing about. Like, no. These are a family that's missing their child. If my nephew went missing, who is about to be 21 and has autism, if he went missing, I wouldn't want that. I wouldn't want my family to speak about it, because this is what happens when families come out and speak. It's all twisted. It's all twisted around, and then, it's just, it makes me sad. But nobody's talking about the other cases, which is sad because everybody is focusing on just one case, when I think if they would have backed off a little bit and maybe go into some other cases and always come back, like bounce back and forth, like how we just talked about the treadmill. Now I'm going back to Noah because I have Noah. I did Noah. I took a lot of notes. What I think what flabbergasted me is he was found on the side of a road, butt naked. His teeth, and that I've already ruled out, is not a hit and run. So if it's not a hit and run, how could he be found the way he was found? How is that not murder, homicide? Maybe he did get hit by a car. I don't understand how they could rule out it wasn't a hit and run. They said it was not a hit and run. He was 19 years old. 19 years old. So the family was told in one of the articles, oh my God, how old? He was only 19. Corey is 6. Corey, the treadmill one, is 6 years old. This is 19-year-old missing Noah. Noah had his teeth busted out. They were found beside him. The cops told his sisters, and I have it down. I have it wrote down here. Okay, he's 19. I gave him orange pen because I didn't know what kind of colors to use. So I just went with my gut and I went with orange. Hi, blessed mama. So this is Noah. His family was told that they wanted to keep it under the rug, under the table, underneath. They didn't want misinformation getting out. His family speaks about this. This is where I got this information, but I want to show you guys Mr. Noah. Nobody's talked about this besides me, and I just remembered last night on Deets for Streets, I tried telling them, hey, you guys are missing me. I covered this, like I have talked about Noah, but just I'm a small channel, so nobody really sees me, which is okay. I don't mind being a small little nobody. I'm okay with that. But I really did try to cover this. Yes, Daisy. Beaten and left on the side of the road. Yes, he was. Yes. So this is what Noah. This is Noah. An Oklahoma teen, body found naked and teeth. Let's listen to this.
September 4th, he was found dead less than a mile away from that party on the side of a rural highway. He was naked except for his shoes. And to this day, neither Noah's family nor the police know how he got there. But now the family is sharing some heartrending details that they do know that haven't been made public before. They say an investigator told them the back of Noah's head was caved in, that he had road rash on his hip and gravel rash on his shoulder and multiple bruises. A friend's dad who went to the scene says that some of Noah's teeth were scattered on the ground. A pair of white shorts was a few feet away, and the shoes that Noah had on, only one of those shoes belonged to Noah, and the other shoe belonged to a friend. At the funeral home, Noah's body was bruised all over and swollen. Noah's aunt says that it was obvious his nose and his cheek were broken. His cousin says that his fingertips were shredded, as if he'd been holding on to something for dear life. I'm joined now by Noah's aunt and his cousin, Robin Smith and Ashley Chadwick. Robin and Ashley, thank you so much for being here again tonight. It's hard to read those details and have you listening. I know you're listening and I know you've been living this, and I just can't imagine how you're processing all of it. I'm also very curious how the investigators explained those details to you. Robin, can you feel this first
Aunt
one?
and
What
cousin.
did
I
the
don't think
investigators
I've watched this
when
one
you learned
because I
about
didn't
these
like
stuff
it.
with these
So this is a
theories?
different one that I did not see.
They said that they didn't think that this was from a vehicle. It wasn't an auto ped. There was no indication of wraparound. There was no indication of any kind of injuries to the lower half of his body. So his pelvic would have had injury, his legs, but there was nothing on the lower half of his body. Everything was to the top of his body on the left side. There was a wound to the back of his head, different skull fractures. He had ribs broken, and it was all on the left side.
When you say no wraparound, is that the terminology they used? If it had been a
I
hit and
rigged
run,
it.
there'd be some indication that he would have somehow
He would have,
wrapped
like,
around
wrapped
whatever it was
around.
that hit him?
Yes, whether it was from the front or the back, if he had been hit forward, he would have gone forward over the head, and if he had been hit from the back, he would have splayed back over the head. And there was no indication of that whatsoever.
I know in
They
another
said-
case that we covered, there was some talk about what about a rear view mirror of like a semi or a big heavy truck? Could that have been it if he were on the side of the road and got sideswiped with a rear view mirror?
No, they said that so Noah was tall. He was 6'2", 6'3". He was a tall kid.
I don't think I wrote that
even
down.
a normal car would have been too short. especially for the injury on his head. But if a normal car had hit him, that there would have been plastic in the road. There was nothing. There was nothing at the scene. If a semi or a truck mirror had hit him, they said, and this is a little graphic, but that his head would not have remained attached to his body at those highway speeds. The speed in that area is 65 miles per hour. It's rural Oklahoma. Everybody's doing a little bit more than 65.
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
Oh my God. I didn't know that. I missed this one.
Tried to explain
How in the hell did I miss this one?
Answers. So, Ashley, when you
They dragged and beaten are still saying an accident. Bless Mama, honey, they're saying it's nothing. They're not saying.
I went to the viewing at the funeral home.
Let me pause really quick. So they're stating that they've ruled out accident. They ruled out car accident. They're saying that how did he die? Is what I want to know. Because being found naked, head butt trauma, they're saying absolutely it could have not have been a vehicle accident. There's no crime scene. It's bonkers, you guys. This is crazy. Okay, let's continue.
I was there roughly a total of 7 minutes. I did not last long.
So sad.
I spoke to my family when I arrived, and I went into the room of where his body was. And whenever I approached the casket, I immediately saw that he did not appear of what he normally looked like. His face was so swollen, and you could tell with the makeup, like they tried their best. He was really dark complected. The bruising all over his body was tremendous. When I looked at his
trigger warning, guys.
His fingertips looked as if he was like kind of.
You know what, bless Mama, honey? I don't know what the hell they're gonna come up with. How did this happen to this kid? How? His friends know.
I'm assuming because his fingertips were so like beat up. They were kind of like shredded in a sense. I don't know how best to put it in terminology. And as for how he was clothed in the casket, they put blue jeans on him, and he was gonna wear his football jersey, but they had to put a like long sleeve underneath like a Under Armour type of long sleeve material underneath the jersey due to all the excessive bruising on his body.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News
So
Nation on your television
crazy.
provider, and don't forget to click the
Okay,
red
so let me
subscribe
read you
button below to
guys
get more of
some of my
News Nation's
notes.
fact-driven, unbiased coverage.
Okay, so that was 1 month ago. This is
said that Noah was in an accident.
Noah's brother.
And so
You guys, listen to
I
this.
thought he was in the hospital, and so I come by and I pick up my dad, and we start driving down there, and it's only a 30-minute drive from Comanche, but that drive felt like 2 hours just sitting in silence. And then we show up, and Jack and Caleb and Jefferson County Sheriff was there, and Noah was covered up on the side of the road with the tarp. And it was just kind of a good 10 minutes just staring at fields, just at a loss of words, When we show up there, everything's going through our minds of what in the world could, because it doesn't look like a hit and run sort of situation.
No, it don't.
And some weeks go by, and we, they finally rule out the hit and run.
I know what the actual
that
fuck.
4-day party turned into something awful that happened within just a short hour time
Trying to
span
keep
for
it
him.
together too.
I believe this is his tooth. right here. His pants were folded up on that square mark.
His pants were there. His tooth was right there in that circle.
I believe so, yeah. And his body was here. And he was in the fetal position.
He was
facing that
beaten
way.
up.
And his body was covered up with a tarp or a blanket type of thing. And as you're looking at it, you can see blood.
You guys see okay?
Seeping through the covering and onto the ground. As I'm looking at it,
This is Noah's brother.
it just seems weird that the placement of the body, the tooth, the shorts, where they're at, doesn't look like a hit and run. Not that I've been aware of.
Have you ever heard them say foul play is suspected?
I've heard suspected of foul play, suspicious death. And again, they don't tell me everything because they don't want to ruin the investigation. But they said they've got a couple of people in mind on the situation, and that they're really looking in on them. So,
Are you able to tell me who those people are?
they haven't told me.
So they have said that they have a few people in mind.
Yeah.
Interesting. Somebody's got to know something.
Somebody knows something about this little boy.
You know, if there's 40 people standing around and someone, walks off, somebody knows about it. So if 40 people are standing around and somebody gets into a fight, somebody knows about it, and with how close everyone is, with how many pictures are taken on Snapchat, you think that something has to turn up. Somebody has to know something and just doesn't want to say it.
And has law enforcement been pretty open with you about things that you're hearing or what they...
Oh shit. Whoops. Sorry, y'all.
They are investigating somewhat. They're willing to spread, talk about certain things, but then there's
No,
some things
bless
that's
mama. He
they
didn't.
wanna say too
He
much
didn't just
because
trip and fall.
what if it messes up
Exactly,
with the
girl.
investigation?
Exactly.
And so there's a lot of areas that we're still in the dark about.
This
that
case
they know more about. And I'm hoping
needs
that they know
to
more about
hit
the
the
situation.
fan.
It's kind of their job, and the only way we're going to get through this thing is if we're still hopeful.
Do you have any message for law enforcement or anything that you want them to know about how you're feeling or this lack of information that you're giving?
This case needs some heat, you guys. This case needs some
I
heat.
get it that you want to protect the investigation. I get it that you want to protect the case. That way it's carried out. But quite frankly, 7 months is too long. I just hope that people see this and are able to...
7 months is way too long.
Just maybe it'll push someone to say something. That they understand that it's being selfless. It's for someone else. It's for the true victim. It's if you know something, just say it. It's better to say it and let the family have some sort of peace, to let Noah have some sort of peace, than to not say anything.
And so again, it's about a push for answers from this family, but unfortunately not getting much new information from law enforcement. They tell me their information is at least 3 or 4 months old. And then earlier today, I stopped by the medical examiner's office in Oklahoma City to try to find out what's the latest there, if an autopsy has been completed yet, and when we're expecting to get that paperwork. They were really closed off to me about that, Ashley. They said it's just not ready yet. You'll get it when it is.
So we haven't got the autopsy back yet?
Noah's brother believes that there are several people that they're looking at as suspects, that's what he's been told. At this point, they have already said if there are suspects, it's not necessarily that it was, an accidental hit and
Noah's
run.
brother spoke out.
Both, right?
Noah's
It could be a
best
hit and
friend
run,
speaks
and that's
out
criminal too.
and
He
needs
someone on the
to
side of the road
take
you
a
know about.
polygraph.
Is it
That's
possible
what the
it could be
brother
both? Even though
wanted his
police
best
said
friend.
They don't think it's a
So,
hit and run.
in my notes here, Noah's brother spoke out, which we heard, but then the best friend speaks out, but I think the brother wants... Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry, I read this wrong. Noah's brother speaks out, Noah's best friend speaks out, and took a polygraph. So where is that polygraph test? I have not heard nothing about where's the polygraph results to this. And then So it does say cops ruled out that it was not a hit and run. He had blunt force trauma to the back of his head. Found naked on a highway 81 in Oklahoma. The family said it appears to be he was dumped there. Okay, but if he was dumped there, you wouldn't think his teeth would be there, right? So, right, this is just sad. So sad. The three that watched my cousin and my classmate die have yet to talk. Oh my God. Spitfire. That is horrible. God, that is awful. Email me, honey, if you want me to. Maybe we can bring some heat. Are you allowed to talk about it? Or is there any, it's your family member. You should be able to talk about what happened to your family member. There shouldn't be no. I know a lot of times there's gag orders and stuff, but I would love to cover your, it's horrible. Nobody should ever. No. It makes me sick. Okay, let's go back. Hold on. Come on. Thank you. Oh, shit. I could maybe do this backwards here. Hold on. Okay.
Well, the interesting thing when actually examining the scene and then talking to the family is that there really was not overwhelming evidence to show that it was a hit and run. I've covered so many of these auto pedestrian crashes, and you notice some things are very similar, right? There might be debris from the vehicle that struck the pedestrian, right? A headlight or different parts of the car that are on the side of the road. There was no evidence of that. And then not to mention the fact that at least one of his shoes were still on his body. That's also indicative that a car traveling this fast on this highway, I've got to say, they're at least 70, 75, 80 miles per hour. Usually everything would go flying. The teeth were so close to the body. The shorts that were off of his body were so close to the body. So there's just evidence that points that it's not a hit and run. That's at least what the law enforcement is telling the family at this point.
Thank you for watching.
So was he beaten at the party with his friends? Because
don't forget to click the red subscribe
in my
button below
notes,
to get
he was
more
at a
of News
party
Nation's
with some
fact-driven,
friends.
unbiased coverage.
Hold on. So his family they told him to keep it quiet. Noah was 19. And we heard exactly everything that was found on him. 7 months, though. 7 months, and they have not heard nothing. Okay, people, quit talking about
Exclusive interview. His
drama.
brother dropped a bombshell. He said police told him that they have several people they are looking at as possible suspects. He also says he personally believes his brother, Noah, fell victim to foul play, which is the exact opposite of what Noah's best friend is saying.
His best friend.
There's a lot of online chatter, and I think that's the reason why they're asking for you to take a polygraph test about you and your father. I mean, tell me about what that experience has been like for you to have to handle that type of discussion happening all around you.
I think the reason that I got brought into it is because, going through high school, you did not hear Jack's name without Noah and Noah without Jack. I don't know. I don't know where all the crazy talk's come from. It just sucks. I took the polygraph test, and it was nerve-wracking for us. People were saying like it's easy to pass the polygraph and stuff like that. It's just, I don't know.
In an exclusive interview, Noah's brother dropped a bombshell. He said police told him that they have several.
Where is this? Where in the flying F is this polygraph? Because I want to know what this polygraph said about this guy. I really, 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 really want to know what that polygraph said. But I was looking for the one where his family speaks out.
Family is trying to process all of this, and they talked about it with our Alex.
This was
Capriello
4 weeks ago.
Here's that interview.
Ashley, it was an eye-opening experience speaking to the family of Noah Pressgrove. We went into great detail about the autopsy report that's now in their hands, what they think happened to Noah, and the frustration they feel from not getting direct answers from his friends.
So blunt force trauma to the head, and your thoughts when reading that is that it's quite possible this might have been the hands of somebody else.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think that's what's got me thinking that it was no accident. You know, he'd been just beat in the head so many times that it just, you know, and it couldn't have been by a car. Just once I saw his face, it's just, I just couldn't do it. So I had no idea about the hair.
Tell it's still so fresh in your mind.
Oh, yeah. It just won't go away.
Oh.
And these kids, they've been hanging out here for the last 4 or 5 years, you know, with that boy. And it's just, you know, hard to believe that you could have friends like that and they all just stabbing you in the back. I've talked to a few myself, only the closest ones that I feel like I could, but not really getting nothing out of them. I mean, one of them I've gotten a couple of stories, 2 different stories out of his mouth, you know, and another one I've gotten 3 different stories out of his mouth. So, you know, which story is true, you know? And in my heart, I just pray God Jack has nothing to do with it, you know? I mean, because I love Jack, you know, but, you know, that was Noah's best friend. And where was he, you know? I mean, I hate to put that on him, but, you know,
Where was Jack?
He keeps going through my head. If they've done wrong, and they need to stand up and be a man and admit it, you know, regardless. I mean, if it was an accident, why didn't y'all just say it was? And
Homeboy needs to release the receipts. Abso-fucking-lutely. Bless mama. Totally agree with you,
I
girl.
just don't feel like they're
Where's my mouse at?
they're not giving us no information. They're not giving us no hope. And it would be nice to have a little hope. It's not going to go away.
I'd love to see Ashley wear some color.
until
Yeah.
this is resolved.
Spitfire.
We will not stop until it's resolved.
I would love to go to Applebee's.
And that, you know, and I'm hoping that
I don't know what
it
it's
will
like
put
to eat out
pressure
for dinner.
on them.
We haven't ate out in so long. I don't know what
Let's
it's
get
like
busy
to
and get this
go to a
figured
fancy
out, you know,
place.
and I'm hoping it will. Until you come and you tell me what
I
happened to
hate
my
being
grandson.
broke. But I still have to make it 3 days yet before I even get paid. And I just
I don't even know if I can get
sucks.
over it then.
I've made repeated attempts to get in contact with detectives with the Oklahoma Highway Patrol to try to find out the latest on their investigation, but so far, during my entire time here, I've yet to hear back. Ashley?
Alex Capriello, thank you. And since the interview
That's
was
bullshit.
we've obtained Noah's full autopsy report, right down to the toxicology, and you might be surprised to find out what was not in Noah's system when he died. We're going to get to all of that tomorrow night right here on Banfield. And if you have any information on Noah Pressgrove's death, please call the Oklahoma Highway Patrol, 405
Okay.
353.
Should I look for the autopsy?
Take a quick picture of your screen. Thank you for watching. Go to
Because this was
newsnationnow.com
4
to
weeks
find
ago.
NewsNation on your television provider, and don't forget
Okay,
to
so
click
let's
the
get down to what we know. Okay, so let's go over this really quick. So we know Noah was found on the side of the road. We know Noah's shorts were found right beside him. We know there was a tarp that covered him up. We know Jack is his best friend. So Jack and Noah, Jack. You always heard those two together. The cops said that there doesn't seem to be any, it's not a hit and run. Okay, so we know that much. It's not a hit and run. Let's listen to what his sister said, okay? Because I want you guys to hear what the family is saying. So apparently the autopsy's out. If anybody can find it and sends it to me, let me know, okay? Anybody?
Injuries. Noah Pressgrove was only wearing shoes when his
Broke is
body
no
was
good. I
discovered
can relate.
on a deserted
Yes, I hate
stretch of
it.
US 81
It's
near Terrell,
expensive. I know.
Oklahoma.
I love
That's about 100
Applebee's though.
miles from
Applebee's is
Dallas,
one of my
Texas.
favorite places to eat. I love Applebee's. They have the best French onion soup, and their wings, of course, are fabulous. I love their wings. Right now, Outback has this thing going on where you can get a steak and like they have something for like $16.99. I so want to go to Outback because I've only ate at Outback I think once in my life, and I love Outback. I cook all my food fresh, yes, expensive but worth it. I do have to say I love to cook. I do love to cook better versus than going out to eat, but it's just nice to be able to go out once, you know? Go out to eat once in a great while would be nice. So Noah it's just so sad. Noah was a 19-year-old, bright future ahead of him. I think his sister talks about a few things that he wanted to be when he, grew up. Obviously, we always have that thing where, what do you want to be when you grow up? What do you want to do when you grow up? So let's listen.
US 81 near Terrell, Oklahoma. That's about 100 miles from Dallas, Texas. News Nation has learned about the events in the hours before his death. He had been drinking at a house party with friends over the Labor Day weekend last year. The 19-year-old had also rolled an ATV that he was driving with friends earlier that day. He returned to the house after that accident. He got in a fight with his girlfriend, and then he left, never to be seen alive again. Now, Pressgrove suffered a fractured skull, broken ribs. His teeth were knocked out, scattered near his body. Tuesday, the county's medical examiner revealing his cause of death as multiple blunt force injuries. While the report answers how he died, the manner of death, what caused those blunt force injuries, remains a mystery. Also this week, after almost 8 months of silence, the Oklahoma Highway Patrol, who is leading this investigation, gave its first update saying that they are not investigating his death as a murder. But the investigation is not over. Earlier tonight, I had the chance to speak with Noah Pressgrove's
Who brought up
sister,
the
Madison
alcohol?
Rawlings.
Why
Here's part
aren't
of that interview.
they charged? Yeah, who bought the
I would
alcohol?
like to ask you how you
Exactly.
and your
Why aren't
family are
they
doing.
charged
First,
for
how are you coping with
underconsumption?
all of this?
Noah got into a fight with his
strong.
girlfriend
I know that
before
we
it.
are a
This is
resilient
what I
group
heard.
for
Yep.
sure. So I think we're handling it as best as that we can,
Okay.
and just trying to stay hopeful.
Really quick. We just heard something. Noah and his girlfriend got into it. So I normally don't like to speculate, but this doesn't make any good sense. This doesn't make no sense. So is his girlfriend being questioned? That was my next question. Blessed mama, you took it right out of my mouth. Yeah, why isn't the girlfriend being questioned? Why are we just now hearing, I love onion soup. Oh my gosh, I gotta stop. I'm gonna get hungry. Why I didn't put that in my notes either. I had no idea that him and his girlfriend had gotten into a fight. But he had all this blunt force trauma. Let's see.
Hopeful and optimistic. What are you hoping the outcome will be? What does that look like going forward?
I'm just hoping that we get it all tied up and we get everything solved and all the questions that we're needing. I'm hoping that it's way less intense that we can't imagine it to be.
Yeah.
I hope that we find out that Noah went fast and that he wasn't in a situation where it would have been a lot worse. Does it make sense?
What questions do you have surrounding what happened?
I just want to know like how he died. I want to know what scenario was played out that caused his death, and what happened. I just want to know what happened.
And we're nearly 8 months out. The
8
Oklahoma
months
Highway
out
Patrol
in this
finally
one.
providing this update that they are not investigating Noah's death as a murder. What are your thoughts on the handling of your brother's death?
I think that
I wrote that in my
having
notes
some
too.
communication means there's progress. So with them saying that they're not investigating it as a murder, there's so many other things that they are able to classify it as.
Yes,
so
that is
maybe
true.
they have just made some progress and were able to give us that kind of update.
So we have this autopsy report released this week that shows that Noah died from blunt force injuries. It rules out him being hit by a car at that spot where he died. He was basically found unclothed. He was hit in the head, broken ribs. His teeth were knocked out. Despite all of that, though, your brother's death not being investigated as a murder, what do you think of that? What do you suspect may have happened?
Well, I don't want to just point my
His
finger
girlfriend
at
should be
anybody
questioned.
that I think could be involved or have any theories that
Broccoli
are
cheese soup
victimizing
is one of
other
my
people
favorites
too.
too.
Because in the end, Noah had passed
4-day
away.
party. I
and
know,
nothing
right?
makes sense
I
to
want to
us.
know who
So,
bought the
I don't
alcohol.
really like to just throw theories out there because if you
I want to know who bought the alcohol.
do follow
4-day
the Justice for
party?
Noah
Come
Facebook
on.
page, you will get plenty of those. You can find plenty of theories everywhere, but I do think that something happened at the party that
I
he
do
was
too,
attending
sweetheart.
the night before, and I just think that people know and they need to speak up.
Tell me more
I
about that.
do.
What do you suspect may have happened at that party? And we know that one of your family members told News Nation he believes foul play was involved. Do you agree with that?
I'm not going to disagree. I have no reason to disagree, but I know those people out there. They claim to be Noah's best friends. They claim to love Noah, and I hope with all my whole heart that is actually what happened. Is that they were not involved at all. But at this point, I can't rule it out.
What is your message for people tonight who maybe were at that party, people who had their phones out taking images, taking photos, who may have seen something and are not saying anything? What is your message to them tonight?
I just hope that they can find it in their hearts to just do the right thing. And if you're doing the right thing, then that's all that we can ask of you.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider.
Okay,
and don't forget to
so
click the red subscribe button below to get more of
They're
News
saying
Nation's
it's
fact-driven,
not
unbiased
ruled as
coverage.
a murder, so could they go as a
I'm
homicide?
Danielle Panabaker. You might know
Could
me
it be
from Flash.
homicide?
I'm also the mom of 2 little kids, and between work and family and trying to fit it all in, I feel like.
What else could they mark it as? Okay, so if it's not going to be as murder, what could they put it as? I'm not going to get much done today. My blind little fur ball is on my shoulders. Aww.
Well, I mean, when I arrived on the situation, it seemed weird.
Girl, we found a receipt online for
but there was no
broccoli and cheese soup and make it ourselves. Okay. Shit, send me that email. I love broccoli cheese soup. My mom makes it really, really good. I used to be able to make it really good too myself, but
it just doesn't make sense that.
so this is his brother. This was 3 weeks ago.
What do you think may have happened that night? Have you gathered any details on your own? Where is your headspace about this?
Well, they
So
classified
sad.
it as no longer being seen as a murder case, which is, if you look at it as being premeditated or being planned out, then okay. But the situation obviously is not a hit and run, so there had to have been either an accident or maybe
Trying to put some makeup
sort of
on so
other,
that way I don't
sinister
cry when I get
situation
to the
played
mall.
out and is now getting covered
And if
up.
I run out of
But
gas, I would
regardless
be
of
able
that
to find
situation,
somebody on the street to,
8 months
if I
later,
have some
we
makeup on
want
and
to know what happened, and we know
if I
what it's
need it.
not, but we still don't know what it is.
Have they explained to you and your family why they don't think that this was a murder?
No, they just released all we received was that quote from them that it is no longer seen as a murder investigation. And it does make sense just because I don't see somebody planning this situation out. against someone as loving and caring and good to get along with as Noah. You know, I really don't see anybody planning a situation like this happening. So the next line is maybe an accident occurred, or maybe something else happened that night under the influence of alcohol, and they got scared.
Is that his girlfriend, maybe?
But whatever the situation is, coming forth and releasing that information is better than dealing with the guilt that they're now dealing with.
What kind of accident would leave your brother without his clothes, with all of his teeth knocked out, in a fetal position with these kinds of injuries?
In a fetal position. So he was being beat. I mean, come on. All the signs go to him being beaten.
Other people
with an
look
object.
at the autopsy, and they've done torn on the situation. They can really understand if it was a car
This makes me
accident,
so
or maybe
mad
if
because
it
it's not a
was
car
out of the
accident.
car, or whether or not he had gotten beaten. You know, obviously.
I had to change my earrings too because one of them got broken. I don't know how
It just doesn't seem
the earring
possible
broke,
that
but I had
he
to
was falling
change
out of
them
a car, but it also
I had to change
deals
my
with
earrings.
just leaving everything up in the air
because
we
it was
don't
just
know.
when
You
I
know,
got
there's
broken.
not enough information on that medical document. There's not enough information available to really figure out how this damage occurred to him and in what order did the events play out.
You know, after all these months, someone perhaps knows something about Noah's death. When I spoke with your sister Madison last night, she told me she believes that someone knows something and is not coming forward, specifically that something may have happened at the party Noah attended the day of his death. Do you share a similar belief?
Absolutely. It just seems bizarre that so many kids are around at the scene and nobody knows anything. Somebody had to have known something. Somebody had to have told a friend that they know. And now more people are hiding this secret and are now having to deal with this. And that's what drives me insane is I can't wrap my mind around having to deal with such guilt every night, whether it's my own guilt or that somebody else had a part in the situation.
Somebody else did have a part in
very
this.
Bizarre. And as time continues to pass and these interviews continue to play, I know it has to be eating them up inside.
What is your message?
All right, if anybody finds the autopsy before me, or if Joneson has it, Joneson, girl, could you pass it over to me?
Please
I don't know how much it costs to get an autopsy. I don't know how much it costs or what's
Contact
it.
Information Center. Anyone at all, just reach out to them with that message. And then also, if you are if you have some experience with private investigations or anything like that, the family is considering going out and finding private investigators and someone else who has a different experience level, someone with new eyes on the situation. So if you are available in that and you're interested in this story,
I would, but I'm not in
please
the
reach out
area.
to us, and we'll do everything we can to help you out in solving this mystery.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven,
So-
unbiased coverage.
We know this little boy. This is awful. This poor little guy suffered. I hope he didn't suffer, but if he was found curled up in the fetal position, makes me wonder, makes me think that this little boy was beaten by his friends. A fight broke out, and who can party for 4 days? Well, I guess when you're young.
Noah's brother, who believes that there is some kind of foul play here, that investigators may actually have a couple people in mind as well, but may not have told the family who they are at this point. We've heard from him
This is
previously.
Jennifer Coffin
If that is
Daffin.
the case, why hold back on releasing possible suspect
I don't know how good she is anymore. I heard that.
Natasha, and the whole situation just doesn't make sense when you look at the timeline of everything.
Who else has heard bad things about Chaffin Daffin? Put a 1 if you have, put a 2 if you think she's reliable. 1 if you heard awful things, or not awful, but we'll say bad things, and then 2 if she's credible. I mean, she's an FBI agent, for God's sakes. How could she not be? I know she's got a YouTube channel. And is she, is she out here making a muck up things, or is she really good?
First of all, this ATV accident, which could have accounted for some of these blunt force injuries that he suffered. Then going
There was
back,
an
there
AT
were
accident. There
writings that were
was.
actually done on his body that were then removed, and the teeth location, I mean, over feet away from his body. All of that doesn't make sense. From my understanding, they've ruled out a motor vehicle accident actually hitting him. But was he somehow thrown or came out of a vehicle to end up in this position? So many unanswered questions, and I'm so surprised that law enforcement hasn't, after 8 months, Natasha, focused in on who the suspects may be.
Yeah, so the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation's calling his death suspicious in the days after his body was found. We now know that his death not being investigated as a murder, as you're saying, and there's so many people, not just his family, who are questioning
So
why
sad, you
not.
guys.
And Jennifer, we look at these details. His body found naked, his face so badly battered, teeth knocked out, spread around him. Help us understand why this case would not be investigated as a murder.
Natasha, it doesn't make any sense. And I understand that at least there were a lot of people with information. What have they been saying?
I
What
did
have
you
they
sent
said that
you a link
makes
to
police
Facebook
think that
for
it
Noah.
wasn't
Okay.
something more insidious? In other words,
Perfect,
the only
girl. Thank you,
alternative
Bus
if
Mama.
he's dead is an accident. So did he fall out of a vehicle in some way? I can't believe they are not communicating more clearly with the family on these details.
You know, and we've spoken with several family members in the past week, some of which they're beginning to feel hopeless that the police investigation is not going to bring them peace. We know Noah's grandmother told News
So
Nation,
sad,
quote, "I
you
have
guys.
respect for law enforcement, but I don't feel like they're doing enough right now."
Oh my
So, as
gosh.
former FBI, what would you tell the family?
Bless
tonight?
Mama's
And do you think that
awesome.
their best hope may lie with hiring a team of their own, a PI of their own, to look at these details?
I think
My
it
jaws
never
dropped
hurts to
because
hire
this is
a
sad.
very good PI, someone with law enforcement experience that has actually conducted these types of investigations, to put new eyes on it, to conduct their own independent investigation. That's always a good idea. But I also think it's very important that they have future meetings with law enforcement and get more answers. If this isn't a murder, there is no reason for law enforcement not to discuss with them what happened, accidentally speaking.
All right, Jennifer Coffindoffer, always appreciate the context and time. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.
Sorry, y'all, I'm typing. Hold on. I am going to show you guys this in just a minute. I'm going to let this
More than
play.
7 months after Noah Presgrove died in Oklahoma at the age of 19, investigators still haven't said how it happened or who might be responsible or really much of anything other than the death is suspicious. Tonight we learned from Noah's family that when the teenager was found on the side of a highway back on Labor Day,
Must
the
be
back
the
of his
girlfriend.
head was caved in. Some of his teeth were missing. His nose and his cheeks appeared broken. His fingertips were shredded. He was naked.
God, his
except for a
fingertips
pair
were
of mismatched
shredded?
shoes, one belonging to him and the other belonging to a friend.
What the
Joined now by
fuck?
Scott Morgan, a certified death investigator and distinguished scholar at Jacksonville State University. So, all right, Joe, I want to go over that list. I want to pop it up on the screen, just sort of as a guide here, because with your prism and how you look at things, I thought maybe this would tell a story that we're not
Noah's
seeing.
Presgrove's
Start
Army.
with this: the back of his head.
You sent me a
was
link to that.
caved
Okay,
in.
both. Okay.
Some of his teeth were missing and scattered where he was found. His nose and his cheeks appeared broken. His body seemed beaten and swollen. His fingertips were torn up. There was gravel under his nails. There was road rash on his hip and gravel rash on his shoulder. We're working on getting the list up, but I know that you have a good memory. So, Joseph Scott Morgan, what does that tell you?
Yeah, this large injury that Noah sustained to the back of his head is interesting to me, because that is likely a point of impact, perhaps. Now, that impact can arise from any number of things: falling from a moving vehicle as a pedestrian, maybe being pushed out. It could also arise from an attack that preceded being left on the side of the road. So for us in forensics, it's very important to examine that particular injury very carefully. And at the risk of being too gruesome here, we would shave the head in that area to pick up on any particular pattern. Sometimes the road will produce stuff, but you can also have instruments that are used. Blunt trauma is what we're talking about here, Ash.
God.
You look for that abraded pattern there. So that's something that we would certainly look at, particularly as it applies to this head injury.
All right, let me show you guys these pictures.
I think you and I did a couple of cases together where there's
Okay,
a lot
so-
of talk about, specific geographic locations of dirt or gravel. Dirt here is not the same as dirt 15 blocks down the road.
I covered your
And
name,
so
Aaron.
Would there be an interest in figuring out the gravel that was found on his hip, the gravel that
This
was
is
found on his
just
shoulder,
sad.
versus the gravel where he was actually discovered?
Okay, so and this is called Noah's.
Forensic geology is
Hold on, I gotta
what comes
find
into
it.
play
Noah's
here. You begin to think
Progressive
about this
Army.
area and the topography,
Um,
also the composition of the local soil. And we're talking about a roadbed too. So folks at home will
I do want to read. I'm going to read this to you guys. Okay, so this is a post. I got invited into it. I'm going to show you the other one too, but I want to read this to you. So this is also isn't making much sense to me. The bloodstain area that was marked by LE was quite some distance from where Noah P's body was found and marked, not a few feet as possible. A few feet. As people keep posting, I had to go back and find the scene photos. I think they forgot to put crime scene photos. Find the scene photos and piece the visual together. There has also been posts speculating that the bloodstain was there a year prior on Google Earth photos when putting the same coordinates as reported as the scene coordinates. So there is a question. There's a question if that's indeed Noah P's blood. Surely the samples were taken, and if so, how is his blood stain so far away from his body, where his body is marked, and in the inline trail of white marks of an additional evidence leading to where his body came to rest? Also, why is there no blood stain where Noah's P's body was found as marked? A top crime scene accident investigator needs to narrow down the scenarios of how this could have happened, or how this could have taken place. How could his body have traveled this distance with no significant lower body injuries and no notable hold on, give me a second, I gotta figure where I lost my spot at. A top crime scene accident investigators need to narrow down scenarios of how this could take place. How could this body have traveled this distance with no significant lower body injuries and no notable marks on his mismatched shoes? All right, so this is a photo. You can see where everything's marked. And then, let me take that out of there. Hold on. So then there's, make sure I don't have nobody. There's blood there, so you guys can see. So I'm guessing that that's where his teeth. It looks so sad. Okay, so then let me go. I think I am in this one. Yep, I'm in it. They accepted me. Yay, I'm in it. Okay, so let's go. Somebody posted 3 hours ago. It doesn't sound like Noah rubs me the wrong way. Clearly, they are trying to pinpoint it to a hit and run. It's sickening that they know what happened and he was not alone to succumb these injuries. Next thing they're going to say is a cat attacked him and dragged him to the side of the road. Golly, I can't wait for justice to be served. There's a lot of people mad. So sad. Okay, so let me show you guys what else we got here. Thanks to my fabulous mod. Are you a mod? Yep, you are a mod. Okay, just check it. I'm going to make sure my girls are modded in here. There's another rapper out there too, you guys. If you see him in here, the one that commented on my thing about no context, let's get that person out of here. Let me know when that person comes in, okay? Because I do want to address that person straight up. So if anybody sees that according to Nick or some kind of, he's got a long ass name, but the autopsy is out. You sent me the autopsy. I love it, girl. Thank you so much. So if you guys want to get into this, hold on, I'll pull it back up for you. I just don't want to cover, I want to cover my mod here. So it's Noah's, I don't know how I'm going to do this. Okay, so if you look at the top here, it's going to be Noah's Progressive Army. Noah Progressive Army, okay? You guys can go there yourself as well. But let me go to the autopsy. Hold on. Okay, so I'll play this while it's going here.
It's referred to as like pea gravel. It's kind of the bed that's laid down. You can see it on the shoulders of the road. So I would want to make sure that anything that is recovered,
Joneson's in it.
recovered from
Yay.
those remains actually marries up with what you're seeing at that site, or did this occur elsewhere? That's going to be very, very important here.
I have my degree in criminal justice. I just don't have a PI license. I would love to. I should do that. I should definitely go get my PI license because I have my degree in criminal justice. I could be a security cop. I could be... I really wanted to be an advocate for domestic violence for women and men. And then my dream job was to work at Davis-Besse. Now, Davis-Besse is a nuclear power plant. I've always wanted to work there like my uncle did. My uncle was top guard security there. So he got to hold all the cool the guns, the grenade launcher, because they have a no-fly zone. So if a helicopter were to fly over, and they usually, if a helicopter for any reason has to fly over the nuclear plant, they have to radio in and say, hey, they're not supposed to fly over it because it's a nuclear plant. That fucking thing blows up, I'm dead, and you guys will not see Truth Seeker. If my nuclear plant blows up, we're dead. But anyways, let's go back to the, I want to show you guys the, oh, look at this. This lady says right here, already, can we not put a bunch of speculation on this case? People are already doing that. Bless mama. Did you see that? Okay, so it says, I just wish y'all would just leave the speculation alone. There are people on this group, not from here, that are constantly bringing up stuff that is way out of line and in left field. Noah will have his justice, but you all of the people on here with your own opinions just needs to stop. You're not helping anyone or anything. I'm so tired from the people being drugged through the dirt for these things that we're not even associated with. I am truly tired of the ugly and the hate. I don't know who this lady is. I'm wondering if it's his sister. But she's just not happy. You guys, there's already, and nobody's really talking about this case on YouTube. But apparently on Facebook, this is why I don't use Facebook very much, because, you know, like, thank God fucking Dolly ain't got a hold of this case. Because Dolly, sorry, Dolly, please do not touch this. Dolly, do not touch this. PJ, do not touch this case. Do not touch this. Because they don't need any speculation from you Haas out here. They don't. This lady's already upset that this person must be related, I'm thinking. But stick to the facts. And here are some of the facts. Below facts, speculations list might be helpful to others. I'm hoping this helps a little bit with the rumors. Please let me know if I left something out or need to correct something. Facts. September 2023, Noah went to a party. It lasted 4 days long, and he was to celebrate an AC's 22nd birthday. So somebody was there, was able to buy the alcohol because they were 22. This is all on the Facebook thing here, you guys. Justice. I'm going to close that out. Justice for Noah. You guys can get on there and take a look at this. But let's go back to this. Okay, because these are the real facts. So, it says, September 2023, Noah went to the party. It lasted 4 days long. It was to celebrate AC's 22nd birthday. The attendees ranged in age from 15 to 22. According to Noah's aunt, Noah went home on Sunday afternoon, September 3rd. His vehicle was returned. His vehicle has returned to the party in the evening. He was picked up from his home in a friend's vehicle. 3. Approximately at 2 a.m. Monday the 4th, September 2023 was last known video of Noah. He was wearing black shorts. BS had a knife, and he had nowhere where playing the slap game. There was an individual in the background holding a shotgun and talking to CC. At 3:41 a.m. on Monday, September 2023, one of the party goers posted a selfie on social media stating that Noah was missing. JN stated in a message that Noah died at 4 a.m. and it is unknown where we received this information. KP stated in a post that JN woke up the party goers at 5:15 on Monday, September 4th, 2023, stating that Noah was found dead. 7. KP stated in a post that he had went to the scene upon hearing that Noah was dead and that Noah was on his back wearing black shorts. He was told to leave and JN stayed behind. KP thinks foul play was involved in Noah's death. Monday, September 4th, 2023, he was found dead by a trucker and a white utility truck who called it in at 9:11 at 5:53 a.m. He was naked with only two different shoes on. One of his and one was KP's. KP, if you know something, you need to come forward, buddy. You need to come forward. There was also white shorts nearby, which were folded by LE and placed next to his body. CN showed screenshots and text and which timestamps from his son at 5:53 a.m. on Monday, September 4th, 2023, asking him to bring him a hat. CN made inconsistent statements about where he was. This makes me so sad, you guys. This makes me so mad. Okay, so, and let's see. How much more of this? There's a lot, you guys. There were kids, and they're as young as 15. I know for a fact the kid with the gun was only 16. How do these people know this? Okay, so let me go back up. We left off on. But look at this, you guys. It's from. It starts from here. Now, this was posted May 28th. You guys want me to keep reading this, or do you want me to go to the autopsy? Do we want to get into the autopsy real quick? I can get into the autopsy if you guys want. Let me see. Shit, hold on. Autopsy was released. Hold on, y'all. So it just makes you mad. People are speculating way too much. They're probably coming up with way out of line things, which I believe somebody at that party knows what happens, okay? Now, that's in my opinion. If you guys want to drop your opinion down, what do we think happened? What do you guys believe? What are you guys feeling so far? Knowing what we know so far, what are you guys thinking? Because I'm thinking somebody at this party knows what. That alone is nuts. Yes, it is. And then to know that the girlfriend, they got into it. They got into it. Him and his girlfriend got into it. His friends have not said anything yet. They're keeping it all hush-hush. The investigators all said that they have ruled out that it is not a hit and run. Okay, so we know it's not a hit and run. Okay, full autopsy. Okay. I didn't know that. His middle name is like mine. But only his is Alexander, mine is Alexandria. Okay? Spell that when you're 5, when you're 6 and 7 and going to kindergarten and school grade and having to spell Jacqueline, Alexandria. That's a long ass name. I honestly do believe that him and his girlfriend got into it. We know so far that we do know so far that it came out. Him and his girlfriend got into a fight. He had left and went back to the party. We know the party was supposed to last 4 days. So we know that the party lasted 4 days. We know just by reading that little bits and pieces of information. We have KP, we have CP, we have a few other people listed in here. Okay, let's go into this. Let's read this. Okay. Oh my God, it does not do that. He had a really big brain. Your brains were that big? I didn't think your brains were that big. Hi, everybody. Hi, Tattoo Angel. Hi, guys. Okay, so his brain weighed, and this is in grams, 1,476. His heart weighed 385. His right lung organ weight was 464. His left lung was 411. His liver was 1220. His spleen was 254. His right kidney was 128. And I don't know who that is. His left kidney was at 126. So they weigh your bodies, they weigh your organs. I didn't know that. I did not know that they did that. Okay, so this is the Board of Medically Investigating Office, Chief Medical Examiner. So we know his name is Noah Alexander Nicholas. The examiner is Trooper Zach Wright, Oklahoma Highway State Trooper. Body viewed by medical examiner, gives the street, highway. Okay, so we know he was 19 years old. He was white, and he's a male. He was found at 6/18. He was found on 9/4/2023. He was a pedestrian. I haven't used it yet, but yeah, you could take it. Okay, so injured or became unknown, so they don't know the address where everything, location of the death with some numbers. City was Terrell, county Jefferson, highway. Type of vehicle, pedestrian. Arms, legs, completed, colored, posture. He weighed 175 pounds. Is pending. Manner of death, unknown. Right here, you guys. Unknown. It is under unknown. Hold up, girl. Showered him before this maybe explains him naked. Yes. Yes. Definitely. Autopsy was done. Authorized pathologist, examiner. They all signed it. He wasn't decomposed. Doesn't say nothing about him being decomposed. Because there's a button they can check it. Report of autopsy of Noah Alexander Nicholas, age 19. His date of birth was 5/14/2004. I had just graduated in 2004. 2004 is when I graduated from high school. I cannot believe that. 2004. I graduated and he was born. So that's kind of neat. He has multiple blunt force injuries to head and neck. I'm going to upload these two. I'm going to see if I can upload this. Am I able to save it? Hold on really quick, you guys. Save. Fucked up there. You know what? Maybe I'm going to have to work on this later on, because I'm probably going to have to screenshot this, and then I'm going to have to probably put some information redacted because I don't want to put it all out there. But I'm thinking maybe they had to have cleaned him up. But I believe he was unalived somewhere else, and then he was dropped off there. But then, did they scatter his teeth, or did they do what they did on a highway? How could they have done that on a highway and then left him? There's no way that they did that. And then, so there's gotta be another area of where he was unalived at. It's so sad. Okay, so let me go back here. Autopsies released, but how in the world is this unknown and not a murder? This is absolutely makes no sense. Governor Kevin Swift. We need you on the case. All right, let me go back to where we were at here. Okay, so Noah's death, this is so sad, you guys. Probable cause of death was listed as multiple blunt force injuries, and the manner of death is undetermined. The full report is attached. Let's go back here to the findings. Okay, so we have blunt force injuries to the head and neck. First thing is they have it in numeral letters. An abraded ablution laceration on the left top of his head, subjected to abrasions on the lethal left eyebrow, corner of the left eye and the left cheek, in front of the left ear. Left ear was associated with lacerations on the left side of the neck, abrasions on the right of the back of the head behind the right ear, and subject posture right neck, abrasions. Let's see if I can back this out just a little bit. Because I'm going to screenshot that. Thanks. I'm going to screenshot this, y'all, and then I'll post it because I don't see anything incriminating. Like, I don't see the case number. I'm going to write this down real quick. Case number. So, 2305608. Okay. So then we have you all. The third one, we have abrasions on the right back of the head behind the right ear and subjacent prior to the right, subjacent posture to the right neck. We have broken upper and lower teeth abrasions on the median mosca of the upper lip and lacerations in the middle of the mucosa of the lower lip, lacerations on the left surface of the tongue, substantious scalpel and suburgical hemorrhage on the, I don't know that, pectoral, I can't read this, occipital temple, and left frontal regions of the head. It's so hard to read this too. I would pull up Facebook, but I can't on my computer because I don't have Facebook listed. But there's a lot of, there was swelling of the brain with lacerations of the inferior surface of the left temporal lobe, basal skull fracture, splitting in the middle of the base of the skull into neck fractures C1, C2, C6, and C7. C1 occupational codi, fractures on the left parietal and the frontal bones, left muscle lacerations and hemorrhages, left frontal regions of the head, this is sad. God, this is so sad. This little boy suffered so bad. So bad. I can't imagine what this family has to go through, knowing that they've read this autopsy and it just makes me sick. Makes me sick, you guys. Rib fractures as following: right 1 through 5 and 8 ribs. So everybody have 8 ribs on the right. So 1 through 5 and 8 ribs. Left 2 to 5 ribs. Thoracic verbal fractures T1, T2, T4, T9. I have a T9 fracture in my back, which they call it a broken back. Your T9 is important. Your thoracic verbal fractures T1, T2, T4, T9, T11. Brachial formatics with left more than the right. You have extremities, abrasions on the right arm, forearm, left elbow, thighs, legs, knees, right foot, side foot of the right ankle, and the side of the right hip. Contusions on the back of his heels. No evidence of fractures. Okay, so here it says in opinion 1. In consideration of circumstances surrounding the death and the autopsy examination of the toxicology results, and the death of Noah Alexander Nicholas is due to multiple blunt force injuries. The descendant was found naked, wearing only a pair of shoes on the side of the highway on the morning of September 4th, 2023. There were no vehicle parts or debris observed on the scene at this time. So what is transparent on how the body was found on the road having multiple blunt force injuries is unknown. Therefore, the manner of the death is deemed to be undetermined. So at least we have it to be undetermined, okay? But what does that mean? Where do we go next with undetermined? Anybody know? Like, how? If y'all want to read this, I'm going to screenshot this one. Let me take her off. So you guys could post. I'm going to post this to my channel later after I get done. Evidence of treatment. There was no evidence of treatment. Evidence of postpartum tissue donation. There was no evidence of postpartum tissue donation. Evidence of injury, multiple blunt force injuries, head and neck. Like I said, I'm going to post this so everybody can read it too. I think Joneson is even going over this later on. I think Joneson has something going on with this as well. I just remember deets on the motherfucking streets last night. I love when they say that. They were talking about Noah. Nobody knew about Noah because why? We don't have nobody talking about Mr. Noah. So therefore, nobody's going to know who this young man is. However, you have all these other YouTubers out here coming up with all kinds of stuff, made a mess of the Sebastian Rogers case. Thank God nobody's been able to fuck this case up. However, we do see a lot of speculation on Facebook. We got family not too happy about it. I think I joined this group already, but let me just double check. There is a GoFundMe, you guys. Help bring justice for Noah. They needed 8. They've raised 12,196. Raised. Their goal was 8,000. They have 156 donations. This fundraiser is funds to hire a private investigator who will be able to solve the case involving the death of Noah. Investigators are very, very expensive. Between many of us who have been eagerly working the case for the last 8 months, we have tremendous hours put in and seeking already. We are seeking eyes on the case and preferably someone with a law enforcement background experience in this genre. I'm going to copy the link. Hold on. I'm in the wrong section. I'm in the wrong sector here. I gotta go back to my page so I can put it in here for you guys. Oops. Okay. So this is the GoFundMe, you guys. If you guys want to go check it out. Did I have anything else I need to put in here? I'm going to post it again. That's the GoFundMe. I want to get some help out for Justice for Noah. May he get justice for what these kids or whoever did this to him. I think they know. I really do. I think they know. The cops told him that they had... oh, there's even a petition. Change.org. They need 2,500. They have 2,332 people have signed this. Urgent call for investigators charges against adults hosting dangerous party. Urgent call for investigation and charges against the adults hosting this dangerous party. Look at that, you guys. Whoever hosted this party knew. Hold on, I'm going to type this in. Wow. Okay, so, all right, I copied the link. I'm going to all these things here to put it in here. You guys go sign that petition, okay? Hi, everybody. Hi, Mary Jane. You came back. So, you guys go check that out. Justice for Noah and for accountability. Exactly what Blessed Mama said. Because we need justice big time. Just in case, I went back to check. 91% say guilty. They're still on verdict watch, you guys. Verdict watch for the case of Corey. Little Corey. Corey was a 6-year-old little boy who the father did it. We all know the father did it. They have not came out yet. It is still under, he's guilty. I think he's guilty, but it still hasn't been, we're still waiting for the trial. I'm just going to do my brows really quick because I don't want to go to the mall looking like crap. So you guys can watch me do my brows real quick. I use this thing somewhat. I use this thing sometimes. If I want really fancy brows, I use that. And then if I don't want to use the fancy brow thing, I do my hair back here. So, what do you guys think so far about the Noah? Do you guys want me to post that now? I could post the autopsy. There's just certain things that I need to edit out, I think. I mean, it came directly from the coroner's office. So let's see. Let's see. Okay, so I'm posting them now. So I don't think I have to edit those out, but there's a few other things I want to edit out. But you guys can definitely go to the Facebook group. I think that's a safe Facebook group. I don't think they're not asking for anything like that. You know, you got to find the safe ones, the safe spots to go in. So my lips are so chapped. And you guys, normally I don't use Twitter, so I've been on Twitter lately. Oh boy, that's been fun, y'all. God, that's been not fun at all. I think I might have to fix this. Hold on. Shit, I'm blind without my glasses on. What did I just do with that? No, I just had that. Where it went? I don't know what you've been told. I'm so out of weed. I can't wait to go to the dispensary. Maybe. If it's in the budget. Hopefully. It should be. I was looking to fix my brow pencil. Where did it go? It was just fracking here. Don't you dare fall off there. Oh my God. Fuck! This thing is not going to fall off on me. It's not going to fall. Okay. I have this Lazy Susan over here. It has all my makeup brushes and shit. And I'm trying to find that makeup brush brow thing. I just used it. This thing is wobbly. I better quit fucking with it or it's all gonna fall off. It's all gonna fall off. See? I'll show you. This is where I keep some of my makeup brushes. But that Lazy Susan thingy, it's like from the dollar store. It's actually supposed to be for like a paintbrush. But I keep all my other makeup brushes in it, like my eye ones. I'll just have to use this guy because I don't know where it went. Just used it. I put it back over here. There it is. Jesus. Okay, so I wonder what the polygraph released. Is that your office? Yes, this is my office. Like, especially when I used to sell makeup, I would come in here and do my makeup videos. And my dad gave me this old desk, um, which I keep my notebooks and I keep makeup in it. And yeah, it's one of the old. It's an old desk, but I love this. So, this is pretty much my office area. My makeup room is my getaway room, I should say. My husband has his man cave next door. That's why I don't want to ever go down to a 2-bedroom, because then one of us is losing. I do more work than he does. I come in the office, I do everything. I got a ring light, I got all kinds of mirrors, lights. So I got it. I got an office room. Now I lost a brow pencil. I do need to clean out my makeup drawers. Look at this. This is a mess. So, because I used to sell makeup through Unique before it got too expensive. But that's all my makeup from Australia that I use. So this drawer here is the top one drawer that I use. Oh, I didn't show you guys my new. It finally came, but it's a little too small. I have to take out the chip, my mouse chip, for it to fit. But this is the laptop case that I got. It finally came after all this time. But yeah, I have a girlfriend that sends me makeup from Australia because she doesn't like to wear makeup, and she likes to send me the makeup. I try it, I wear it, I show her videos, I make videos for her. So sometimes I'm not always around because I'm usually with my friends on from Australia. I used to do a lot of makeup videos on Facebook, but when I quit selling Unique, because Unique was, you guys, there's so many of those multi-level businesses, and you have to buy all this shit to even make the money, but then the stuff is so damn expensive that you can't sell it. Like little old me, and they're like, oh, clientele is good on Facebook. Well, what if you have all these people out here selling the makeup? So how am I going to get, and so those multi-marketer thingies, I think they call them multi-marketing. But I totally think that that guy is guilty. That Noah was unalived. I think there was a fight that broke out. Oh, let's hear it while we're going at it. While I'm putting my makeup on real quick. Let me make sure I don't have to. I'm trying to make sure I don't have to. Okay. Justice for Noah. Okay, so I posted it to YouTube, guys. If you guys want to go over there and read. I'm supposed to do this screening thing for WellCare for my health insurance. Jesus. All right, let's go. Trying to see if there's anything.
Oklahoma leads to a grisly discovery.
Investigators found 7 bodies on a rural property, and the father of one of the girls confirms his daughter is among the dead. Nathan Brewer says his family, they are in shock. His 16-year-old daughter, Brittany, and a 14-year-old friend were just reported missing this morning. They were believed to be with the man who authorities say is a known sex offender. The 7 bodies were found at a property where the suspect lived. Authorities would not confirm the identities of any of the victims.
Yes,
or how
pyramid
they died,
schemes. You're
and only
absolutely
said
right,
they are
Mary
no
Jane.
longer
Pyramid
searching for the
schemes.
teens.
That is crazy. When was this? This is something new that I never heard of.
Going in depth here on 2 News Live.
This is in Utah 1 day ago.
Are believed to be that of a missing woman from St. George. I spoke with the Kane County Sheriff's Office today and that woman's family yesterday. At the time I spoke with Dallas Jimenez, sister of Courtney Townsend, I was not aware of a crime scene in the area outside of Duck Creek Village where the car she stole was found burned out in November. Follow me here. Stolen vehicle burned out back in November. Here's part of our conversation before we learned of this crime scene last night. I asked about the family searching for Courtney Townsend.
I did not hear about this.
Every day I try to do something that will help me find my sister. I'm determined. I'm gonna find her. It's just that every time we feel like we're getting answers and we might be getting out of this puzzle, we end up hitting a brick wall and then we're back at square one. It's frustrating. They did not do an investigation of the vehicle or the area it was found when the vehicle was reported. So they did not do a search of the area until just recently. The spot that the car was found was an opening, so it didn't have as many trees or anything. It's just an opening. There's just a couple trees exactly where the car was found. And there's no cabins. There are tons of cabins. There's cabins within walking distance.
I don't know nothing about this case, you guys. This is something new. Humans remains.
So there's cabins, but one.
Okay, so it says human remains located in Kane County, Utah, believed to be the women missing from 2023, you guys. So last year there was 2 women went missing. The car was burnt on fire. Oh my goodness. We have got to investigate this one, you guys. I'm going to be digging deep. 21 hours ago. Please give update. Teen found dead inside their car. What the fuck?
You get up to where the car was found, there's not nobody.
So you can hear some of the frustration in her voice, and we'll get to that in a moment. The family had done a search in this general area back on the 19th of May. The week before, a 2-day search conducted by the Kane County Sheriff's Office. They told me that they covered more than 160 miles of terrain. I reached out to the Kane County Sheriff's Office last night after initially reaching out to them last week. But last night, after hearing about a potential crime scene near this location late Monday, I asked why they believe these remains are that of Courtney Townsend after multiple searches in that general area just within the last month.
Just items we found at the scene, personal items, clothing matches, some video description that we have, and those things have helped us to lead us to the conclusion that this is most likely Courtney. We of course can't say definitively that it is until after some further investigation, and the Utah State Medical Examiner's Office will do some work on that to give us final on that.
How close were these items to the area that this car was found back in November?
By straight line, I think it's about 0.6 miles from where the car
Oh my
was.
God.
There's a road going down through it, kind of a 2-track ATV type road. And the people were just out riding their ATV that happened to come upon the clothes that were beside the road. Thought they looked a little bit suspicious and were familiar with the case. And so they felt they should maybe report that. And our detectives came up to take a look at that. There was human remains mixed in with the clothing. And so then that led to further investigation of the area around where the clothing was found.
Was this a matter of the snow impacted what your prior work had done? Like, is this an area that you already had looked and it had been covered?
To some extent, yes. We were up here, I think, 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago. Did an extensive search with our search and rescue folks, several dogs, to include dogs out of Iron County Search and Rescue as well. Covered a lot of area. Our people did get down in this area, probably within a quarter of a mile of where this clothing was found. Just didn't happen to get down right in the exact area where it was at. People may have been by it other times. I'm not sure if the day that the family came up and searched, they may have been in this area as well. And people may have walked right by this, may not even have noticed. Just for some reason, it struck this lady's interest, and she stopped.
Well, thank God this lady stopped,
It was
because
of interest, and it was. So, but like I say, it's just the average person.
I don't know this case either, guys.
We treat everything like a criminal
Mini
incident.
scams, you're absolutely
until
right.
we can rule otherwise. That's kind of started there and work our way down. And so that's kind of where we're at right now. Nothing that we found right now would lead us to believe that it was foul play. But again, we're still.
Well, if the car was burned, how did the car get burned? There was
So at this point,
obviously.
not believed to be foul play right now, but I asked more about the search and what was done early on. Remember, the burned out car was found on November 19th. She was reported missing on the 16th. The car not far from where those remains were located yesterday.
We know, from our conversations with them, from their posts on Facebook, we've been able to see their frustration with the process, frustration with having her gone and not knowing where she's at. I can't imagine having a family member, gone for 6 months, let alone years and years and years, maybe never finding them ever. And so we're sensitive of their frustration that they've had, maybe even with us at times, but we just the way the case laid it out in the beginning, and the timeline, and then the storms coming in on us, and just not being able to search until we could get some clearing, which ended up being May of this year, before we felt like we could get in and not be trudging through the mud. Being able to have enough snow gone to actually do a good search. And so that was frustrating to us as well. Holding on to this for so long, trying to find
Did I do this? This case does sound familiar.
St. George.
Two missing women, right?
Detectives quite a bit on this.
Danielle.
Talking about
Danielle.
what are some other angles we can do, or some other people we can talk to who were her associates. They've tried to work this in the background the best they could while we were waiting for an opportunity to then be able to get up and actually do a
Two
ground
teen
search
boys.
and see what we could find.
Was that not possible back in November when the car was there?
Well, again, it's hard on that. People would probably think, well, you got a car sitting there, you should just go out and start searching. But we didn't have 100%, what the picture was. We were able to trace down that the car had been reported stolen. Start working with St. George Police and the family at that point. But they didn't really report her missing until in December. And so then by then,
I want to cover this case.
Snow on the ground at that November time. And, if you look at the pictures of the day that our deputy went up, it had snowed. So there was no footprints to try and track, anything like that. You know, it was under the snow, and then we just didn't have a good chance after that because of the weather to go up and try and do a big search. Let's see what we could have found.
This is the area. You
So
guys
still
can't
waiting
see
on
it.
the medical examiner's determination to exactly confirm that these remains belong to Courtney Townsend, but they believe that to be the case given the location, the proximity, the burned out vehicle, the evidence, the items found, you name it. This story's been trending all day since we put it up there this afternoon. Go on to our...
Look at where this car was found, you guys. This is so sad. This is just there's just so much crime out here. So I'm trying to think of I'm gonna work on this. Human remains located. This was 1 day ago. I was looking to see what her name was so I could go by that. Debit cards, record show debit cards we used at a gas station, Home Depot. Oh, there's a lot on this, you guys. A flyer with description of Courtney. So her name is spelled C-O-U-R-T. Courtney. Oh, that messed up. Townsend. When did she go? It says November 16, 2023, Courtney's mother filed a missing. So November 16th. So you're telling me from November 16th, 2023. Let me just write that down. Her mom filed a missing report. December 2nd, 2023, investigators from KCSO and SGPD worked the case closely over the last 6 months. So from December 2nd of 2023, y'all. So this body was found last night. 1 day ago, humans' remains were located in Kane County, Utah. So this is Kane, Utah. All right, so that's going to be my homework tonight after I get back from going to the mall, and hope to God I don't run out of gas. That's my issue. I'm hoping I don't run out of gas. But
right now,
there's a few bits left.
Check it out for yourself.
Recording
Okay.
just got better.
So,
Hey, it's Dana from StreamYard. I'm so excited to announce.
I don't know who's all live right now, but I'm sure there's a bunch of people live right now. Let me just go take a peek at I love Ert. She's so cool. All right. Let's go look and see. We got Traders live.
I think when there's smoke, there's fire, but I can say, well, from Mama T, just let me know there is no sex offense charges. And, you know. Hey, Gabby. Yeah.
Don't know who we walked into.
But we do know it was him by his birth date and the age and, of course, the picture.
Thanks, guys. All right.
Yes, Jen, I did, and that's not him. He's 49, not 38.
J-Cat left.
We're watching another high-profile murder trial. This one in New Jersey, where a father is charged with killing his 6-year-old son. Jury deliberations are underway in this so-called treadmill abuse murder trial. Christopher Greger is accused of forcing his son, Corey, to keep running on a treadmill because he thought the little boy was too fat. Surveillance images show Corey repeatedly falling off of that machine. The child's manner of death was determined to be blunt force trauma and lacerations to his heart and his liver. But the defense is disputing that. News Nation's Rich McHugh is live outside of the courthouse there in New Jersey. So, Rich, what is happening inside today?
Hi, Nicole. So just a few minutes ago, the jury now has the case. Just a few minutes ago, the jury had a question for the case. They wanted to review 2 videos. One of them being the infamous treadmill video. So they sat and watched it and had a few questions for the judge and others. Then went back, and so they're now back in reviewing the case.
Oh my God, you guys!
Prior to that, this morning, said, "Look, if you do not find this defendant guilty of first-degree murder, there are 2 other charges you can consider: aggravated manslaughter or reckless manslaughter." Take a look.
If you determine that the state has proven beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant purposely or knowingly caused death or serious bodily injury,
I hope he's guilty.
You must find the defendant guilty of murder. If, on the other hand, you determine that the state has not proven beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant acted purposely or knowingly in causing the death or serious bodily injury resulting in death, you must find the defendant not guilty of murder. And then go on to consider whether the defendant should be convicted of the crimes of aggravated manslaughter or reckless manslaughter.
What do those 2 mean? Anybody know what reckless means? And
Too fat. 2 weeks after the treadmill incident, Greger says son Corey woke up from a nap incoherent as he took him to the hospital where he had a seizure and ultimately died. The medical examiner at the time issued findings on the cause of death: blunt force trauma, lacerations on his liver, and also sepsis. The medical examiner did not determine how Corey died, but several months later, a forensic did rule the death a homicide. Corey's mother, Brie Michelot, says she reported Greger for abuse over 100 times, but no one took her claim seriously. Days after the child's death, Greger was pulled over in Alcoa, Tennessee, for speeding in a construction zone. He was caught on police body cam, blaming his wife for the death of his son. Yesterday, the defense gave their closing arguments. Take a listen.
Oh, I fucking hate that defense team.
Just look at the facts, the science, not the superfluous stuff. Searches, the fleeing, the superfluous stuff, the science, the medicine, the medical exam, the doctor's testimony.
This motherfucker, can you believe this? I have never seen those pictures before in my life. You guys just saw them.
Dr. Vaughn made.
His eye looked like my eye before.
Natural causes. This is not a homicide.
Sorry, y'all, but
now the prosecution
that photo got me because
late into the day with their closing argument.
that photo.
How Corey died, but several months later, a forensic pathologist.
Trigger warning. He caused those.
Did not determine how Corey died, but several months later, a
All right.
forensic pathologist reviewed the case and
I gotta
did
get to
rule
them all.
the death of homicide. Corey's mother, Bree Michelot, says she reported.
But I want to show
Gregor
you
for abuse
guys.
over 100 times, but no one took her claim seriously.
Nobody took her claim seriously. Nobody did.
Tennessee, for speeding in a construction zone.
And that's what pisses me
Police
off.
body cam blaming his wife for the death of his son. Yesterday, the defense gave their closing arguments. Take a listen.
And you just look at the facts, the science, not the superfluous stuff. You know, searches, fleeing, the superfluous stuff. The science, the medicine, the medical examiner, the doctor's testimony. Just
This is what happens when.
there's only one conclusion you can
That
make.
was 4 weeks after.
And that's the same
2 weeks or 4
conclusion
weeks after.
Dr. Baden made. Corey died from natural causes.
There's my pops when he looked
This
healthy.
is not a homicide.
Now, the prosecution ended the day yesterday, late into the day, with their closing arguments. Let's listen
When
to
I
that.
sold makeup.
He was murdered by
I was really good at
his
doing makeup.
father, the person who was supposed to protect him and take care of him the most. There's no question what he did to Corey on April 2nd. His final act of child abuse.
I could do some good
This
makeup,
case
guys. I
is
could
about Corey.
definitely do some
This
good
case is
makeup.
about Corey and how he became the ultimate victim of the defendant's punishment and abuse. 6-year-olds just don't die,
No, they don't.
and neither did Corey.
So the jury has this case. They've had it for about 2 hours, and we could have a verdict at any moment today. Nicole?
GQ Live for us there in New Jersey. Rich, thank you.
Thank you for watching.
Makeup
Go to
skills.
newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider.
Wow,
And don't
I
forget to
didn't
click
know
the red
that. I did
subscribe
not
button below
know
to
that
get
those photos were released like that. So we do know the jury had a question, 2 questions. So hopefully they went back in there and they're gonna come back out with a guilty. Jones's is live right now.
This is basically people going through all the party goers and trying to figure out who's lying and who's not lying.
Jones's is live. I honestly do believe.
Let's see. Okay, this is the video we watched earlier. Oh, sorry. Sorry, guys. I didn't realize that was still up. See? Okay, hold up. See? Hold on. Well, let me rewind.
There's a video.
Right here. This is part of the article we were reading earlier.
This ring.
See,
Why
this
is
kid
the
right
girl
here,
smacking?
Because he's got the long shotgun in his hand. See? And these two are just goofing around. This is somebody, they're really close friends too, Noah and another friend. Not Jack, just another friend.
There he is in his black shorts.
No, this was just playing around, in my opinion. Because you can see them smiling. They smile. See, he's smiling there. They're just talking shit to each other. Saying, I trust you. Yeah, they're just playing. This is not a real fight. Now, this is the one that posted that Snapchat saying Noah was missing at 3:41 in the morning. It's also the one that he supposedly wanted to sleep in her bed, and she told him no, and so he gets upset and takes off, right? And he's going for a walk, but he can't find his other shoes, so he takes the shoe off another sleeping dude on the couch.
What? Yeah, we got it. You see my wiener? Country pin. One-on-one. Mike Tyson.
I don't trust him. There's somebody at that party knows. Somebody at that fucking party knows. But she's going off of Reddit and stuff. I don't trust Reddit, you guys. I don't do anything from Reddit. I don't think Reddit is...
So this is Jack Newton's dad. This is the one that was supposedly with Jack upon finding Noah. He says, everyone that I've asked has advised me to social media silence because every comment or piece of info is met with attacks, no matter how valid. But here's mine. We had a plan to fish that morning. Me, my son.
Okay, so you all can go over there and check out Miss Jones, and she is live. I'm going to dig on some information on this case with Courtney Townsend. She's been missing 6 months, more than 6 months, and they find her in her car that was burnt. So that makes me want to dig into that a little bit. So I hope you all have a great, wonderful day. I'm going to attempt to make it to the mall. I gotta go try to get my ring fixed before I start crying more. I'm gonna bring Teresa with me so that way it's easier for them to spell her name. We live in a crazy world. Yes, we do. But Jones is live going over that. The rest of what we covered. I will keep you guys posted on if we hear anything from Corey. So let's just hope that they come back with a guilty. I'm really hoping they come back with a guilty and Corey can get his justice. His mom, it still looks like she's still staying sober. And throughout this whole trial, she did not look like she was doing any drugs. She was there. We seen her in the art gallery. They call it the gallery, I guess. She was there. She was the first person that took the stand. So she set a lot for the jury. She told them, how dictating he was with the custody, and it was supposed to be by the book, not what he wanted. And he was able to, push her around, do whatever he wanted. And He didn't even care. So have fun. Yes, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna get dressed first. The mall closes at 8. I just hope I make it there. God, I hope I make it there and back with whatever gas. And I know it's less than a quarter. It's less. I have like, I don't know, I'm gonna have to go look, but I know it's 17-minute drive, so 20 miles, maybe 30 miles. Who knows? But I love you guys. Just hope I make it there. I love you all. Have a great day. I did post my Cash App is at the bottom if anybody would like to make sure I make it there safe. Be my guest. So yeah, I will see you all later. Be safe, be blessed, be kind, and let's hope to God we get a guilty verdict. Love you all. Bye.